San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Hey guys, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
There's Virgin
Good
Islands,
morning.
and then St. Martin. Call in at Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779, 561-244-5779, and join us celebrating the re-election of President Trump, 561-244-5779.
Hi, this is
I set the timer up a little early so you guys could go in the chat room early. Is that okay, or would you rather me not do that? I don't know.
While remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your.
I can't go live that early because I've got things to do to set up. But I thought you guys would like having the chat available.
954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop
Good
you from
morning.
taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
This is Steve Kane for attorney Barry Siegel. Barry did a great job for me and my family when we needed a revocable living trust. Listen to one of our listeners, Ray, talk about his experience with Barry Siegel.
I want to praise Barry Siegel. And one of the most important things about sponsors is integrity. You have to know that you're dealing with an honest person. I had to go up to Myrtle Beach for my sister because her husband died, and I was helping her out. She had a trust and everything. She had not.
Welcome. Is everyone subscribed? If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you are new here, this is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere in the world. Also the longest running radio show in Florida. It's our top of the hour break. We're here from 6 till 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday.
Barry himself called me. I asked my questions and so on, and he answered. He was very patient. I was quite a while with him, and I talked about a lot of things, and this and that. But I wanted to say, character, integrity, these are the most important things with sponsors, and all of your sponsors, because I've dealt with a lot of them, they all have that you can trust them and you're getting a fair share.
Lori?
Do what Ray did. Call attorney Barry Siegel right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. That's 1-855 toll free FLA-3782. Tell them Steve sent you.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888
Allergies.
GO-KANE 1.
Here we go.
That's 1-888 GO-KANE 1. And now, here's Steve Kane.
Alrighty, 5 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. This is also the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere. I have a Trump 2020 flag behind me on the wall. I'm not kidding. Go to YouTube. You can see Brian Craig on the YouTube. Oh, man. Are you guys excited? Kamala Harris. Yay! They have somebody that knows who they are and who the president... yeah, come on. That was... that announcement yesterday of Kamala Harris was probably one of the least eventful picks for vice president ever. And did you catch Biden? This is all over the place. Oh yeah, he did this video chat with her. He had notes, so he knew what to say. I want to welcome Kamala to my campaign, and he had his cell phone in his hand. And many reports are saying that Biden had his cell phone upside down. I don't know, but Kamala Harris. Is there any excitement? Come on. Is there any excitement? If you're excited about Kamala Harris, call me right now. I won't get a call for months. If that was the standard, we wouldn't have a call until ever, right? Who could be excited about Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris has a lot of... It was very interesting. The President Trump endorsed Kamala Harris yesterday as the VP pick, said this is his personal choice, his favorite. So she's already received the endorsement of two presidents, President Trump and President Obama. I love it, yeah. I remember when John McCain announced Sarah Palin. That was a very exciting time. I like Sarah Palin. I didn't know... I knew of Sarah Palin a little bit when she was first announced because I had seen her on Neil Cavuto once or twice debating some environmental Birkenstock wearing nutbag about global warming because she knew all about the oil business, being the governor of Alaska and all. And she did pretty good the couple times I saw her there. But there was a lot of excitement around Sarah Palin because unlike Sarah Palin, or unlike Kamala Harris, I'm getting like Biden. I misspoke. I was pulling a Biden. No, unlike Kamala Harris, Sarah Palin accomplished everything that she had on her own. That's right. She didn't sleep with some well-connected guy in the Democrat Party who was married, and then he would, help her in her political career. She didn't have any family connections. It's an interesting thing about that because when Sarah Palin was nominated, they went out to destroy Sarah Palin. Right? The media, they went out to destroy Sarah Palin. They traveled to Alaska. My favorite attack on Sarah Palin was they accused her of banning books from the Wasilla School Library. And they were so obsessed. They had like Sarah Palin derangement syndrome because she not only was she conservative, she's good looking. People liked her. She made it on her own. And it didn't even occur to them, well, wait a minute, she wasn't on the school board, she was the mayor. That would be under the school board. Remember all that stuff? But they accused her of having sex. They had two sex things with Sarah Palin, these liberal people. The first, they accused her of having sex with Todd's business partner, which wasn't true. And Larry Flynt even made an adult film about Sarah Palin having sex with Todd's partner. And I got to tell you, Larry Flynt, we had Larry Flynt on the show once when Steve and I, a long time ago, when Steve and I were in Miami on WINS, 940 WINS. He was in the gold wheelchair and everything, and what a gentleman Larry Flynt. I was shocked at what a gentleman Larry Flynt was. But anyway, yeah, they made a porno movie because with something that about something that wasn't true with Sarah Palin. And then they couldn't understand. She's so popular. Joe the plumber's traveling around with Sarah Palin. What's going on? So then they had some old college story where she had sex with a black basketball player in college. And, they won't like that. She had sex with the black. No one cares. No one cares. Now, all of a sudden, Kamala Harris, who had an affair with a married man and would even go to appearances with the wife. Have you seen the picture of, I guess he won the election and she's glowing. You got Kamala on his left, his wife on the right. Give me a break. And that topic is forbidden? That topic's forbidden? Come on. Yeah. I think it's relevant. There's a lot of things. We'll get to a bunch of stuff on Kamala today. Don't you worry. Your calls are welcome too at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane with a K, Kane, and the number 1. When the news came in yesterday, it was, in past VP picks, there's been some excitement on occasion. George W. Bush with Dick Cheney, he put together an exploratory committee to find the best person to be vice president. Do you remember? Does anyone remember who headed the George W. Bush Vice Presidential Exploratory Committee to find the perfect person to be vice president? Anyone remember who headed that committee? I do. Dick Cheney. And Dick Cheney's committee found that he was the best person. But there was excitement about it. There was suspense about it. And then, pick that warmonger, Dick Cheney. There was even excitement around Pence with Trump, which it's hard to get anything exciting with Pence. And there was build-up, there was speculation, there was nothing here. They had about 6 or 8 black women. Joe Biden was ordered by BLM to pick a black woman or else. And Kamala Harris, people were talking about Kamala Harris a year ago. Can anyone tell me what her primary accomplishment has been in government? I know she locked up a lot of black guys for smoking weed. I know that. I know Tulsi Gabbard said that she covered up some evidence in some death penalty cases about it involving an innocent man on death row. I know that. But what has she done? What has she done? Also, all this excitement that I was watching CBS News. I don't know the name of that white girl on CBS News. She got the text message live on the air from the Biden campaign about Kamala Harris. Did you see any of that? She was so excited. And I had on Fox News Channel, and Donna Brazile, who has the same haircut as Don King, they have the same hairstylist. Donna Brazile was so giddy. Did you see Donna Brazile? Donna Brazile was, this was the, she just couldn't, contain herself. Was she auditioning for a job with, and there was so much sucking up about Kamala Harris on Fox News yesterday afternoon. But, so Kamala Harris, woohoo, I'm excited. But, this thing with Sarah Palin, there has never been excitement around a vice presidential pick than there was around Sarah Palin, not in my memory. And look what Sarah Palin's been doing, right? She was on The Masked Singer this year. I'm not kidding. She was on The Masked Singer. That's what happens. Vice presidential nominees, they act like this is a big deal. She's not the first woman. She's not the first minority. There's no excitement here. But if you went backwards, even with real vice presidents, but nominees, how far could you go? How far could you go? I can barely remember Mitt Romney's snake of a vice presidential running mate, Paul Ryan. Who is John Kerry's vice presidential running mate? Think, quick. Anyone remember? John Kerry's running mate. Who? I know, but you have to think about it. John Edwards. Okay, who was before that one? Gore. Who was Gore's running mate? Anyone remember? Al Gore. Who was Al Gore's running mate? Go back. Don't Google. Read some Wikipedia. Joe Lieberman. Okay, so who was the loser before that? Oh, here's a good one. Okay, we're going back to losers. People get all excited and what happened. Oh, who was Hillary's running mate? I forgot that loser. Who was Hillary's running mate and what are they up to? Kane. I can't even remember his first name. And he spells Kane with an E at the end, right? A-I-N-E or something. Okay, let's go back. So we had Bill Clinton. Okay, yeah, who was Bob Dole's running mate? Oh, yeah, all this there was excitement around Bob Dole's running mate, too. Who was Bob Dole's running mate? Hey, who cares about vice presidential nominee? Can you remember? Can you think of one? Are blacks going to embrace Kamala Harris? I know it's Kamala, but I've been calling her Kamala for so long, I know I'll never have to call her Madam Vice President. Will blacks embrace her or reject her? What will BLM say for putting all those black people in prison for smoking weed and other things? Tim Kaine, thank you very much. I couldn't remember Tim Kaine's. Okay, so where did we leave off? Okay, yeah, who was Bob Dole's running mate? Yes, Jack Kemp. I remember when Jack Kemp was announced. He played football, right? They announced, and then Bob Dole and Jack Kemp were on a boat, and they were throwing footballs off the boat, and everything they talked about was a football reference because he had played football. Okay, who was the okay, so that was 04. Okay, so, no, that was 96. That was 96. So before that we had 92. Now this is some that a lot of snowflakes won't even remember. And they were president. George Bush the first. Who was his vice president? And by the way, who did he run against? I'm talking about the election he won. Who did George Bush run against? George Bush 41. And what was the name of the running mate The vice presidential nominee that ran against Bush Quayle. Anyone remember? Who ran against Bush 41 and who was their vice president? That's meaningless. I mean, I can't. I'm getting confused now. I'm gonna have to start Googling and using the Wikipedia soon. Oh man. Who was the vice presidential nominee of the loser who ran against Reagan Bush in '84? Who ran against Ronald Reagan in '84, and who was their vice presidential nominee? It's never historic. You know, I go to Disney World all the time. They have the Hall of Presidents. They don't have the Hall of Vice Presidents. Nobody even knows who the vice presidents are. I know. We can, you know, I'm telling you, give me a break. Give me a break. Kamala! Everyone's excited. Oh, my goodness. All right, listen, we'll take a break. Your thoughts are welcome. 1-888-KILL-KANE-1. We're here live. It's 18 minutes after the hour. It's Wednesday morning, August 12th. That's right, already. Man, this month is flying by. 2020. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That is our number. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, Brian Craig here. We've been telling you on the Steve Kane Show, for coronavirus testing, stop by any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. One of our longtime sponsors, Dr. Mitch Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, went to any lab test now of Boca for coronavirus testing this weekend, and he called in live on the radio to share his experience.
Listen, Brian, I have a great experience to tell you about. I went to any lab test now on Friday.
And she was the first woman, Ferraro, Geraldine Ferraro.
And it was awesome. We had a little experience where we had somebody in our close circle that tested positive after
Steve
10
Kane
days,
Show.
by the way. Went and had a test. It took 10 days to get the results. We all went into a little bit of a panic, obviously.
Why did I leave Periscope? Because Periscope is filled with lowlives, scumbags. It's the dark web. People freaking shooting up on heroin and crap on Periscope. That's why. I left Periscope
We sat in the waiting room for less than 15
years ago
minutes.
now.
Staff gave us our results, which were negative, and we were on our way home. And a little shout out to Brittany, the nice young lady who did our test. It was completely painless. It was quick. It was simple. It was
That's
easy,
right.
And it gave you
Donna Brazil,
the IgM,
the voice of credibility.
antibodies, which tells you if you have the infection now or if you've been exposed to it in the past.
Now, you went to any lab test now of Boca?
Boca Raton, yeah, in the Sandalfoot Plaza.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Well,
It really was. It was cool. And it's easy, it's simple, and I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Forget
Not like Periscope.
Doctor recommended. Can I say that in the commercial now? Doctor recommended. Any lab test now?
It's a little more detailed. I'm not going to say here, but if we went on the cruise, on our last cruise, I told everybody a little more details on why I did that on the cruise. If you were on the cruise, don't say.
Did you have it? Do you have it? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's great. So Dr. Mitch Matez personally recommending any lab test now of Boca.
You heard Dr. Mitch Matez. Any lab test now of Boca is doctor recommended for coronavirus testing. They're located in the Sandalfoot Plaza. It's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441. Give them a call, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Oh man, you know, over at any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs, the coronavirus testing, they have that finger test. That's the one I had. Boom! It's like it's kind of like a pregnancy test. They put it in. It looks like the way they do that test, little finger test, you know. And I was watching someone on YouTube go to one of those state drive-up places, and they get the test this week. They stuck the thing up their nose, the one that goes to the eyebrow. You should. Oh my gosh, it was like sticking a sword up there. Oh my goodness. But no, it's just a little finger test at any lab test now of Boca and of Coral Springs. People ask me about that. All right, let's go to the phones. Oh, by the way. Geraldine Ferraro was the vice presidential nominee in the '88 race with Bush against Quayle with Mondale, and Geraldine Ferraro. You have to have gray hair to even have a chance at getting that, and she was the first woman nominated by a major party. So, these vice presidential picks are, who cares? I didn't care when Pence got nominated. I was on the Trump train. He could have nominated Trump, who, by the way, endorsed Kamala Harris yesterday. That was very nice of him. Helped out there. If Trump would have picked Barack Obama as his running mate, I would have still voted for him. I wouldn't have cared. You know what I mean? I was voting for the top of the ticket, not the bottom. Mike and Boca, you're on the radio.
Yeah, 84 was Ferraro, 88 was Lloyd Benson.
Oh, I got it wrong. Yeah, 88 was Benson. See? And who was Lloyd Benson? He was in Congress, right?
Yeah, he was the one who said when Taylor had Quayle, when he said he knew talked about JFK, and he looked at him and he goes,
"Oh yeah,
I knew JFK."
That's correct.
Okay, that's why I said, you know what?
That's correct. You're right. I forgot. Yeah.
So after that,
I knew Jack Kennedy, and you're no Jack Kennedy. That's what he said. Yeah, that's right.
Even though Bush got elected, that basically made.
Well, how do you think now? I am interested to see how Kamala does against Pence. But Pence has no personality. He has no personality, and I don't even remember the last debate with that loser that ran with Hillary, Tim Kaine. I don't even remember it.
Well, you said before about the blacks. They're going to vote for him in South Carolina. They're going to vote for him in Minnesota.
Texas.
They're going to vote for him in all those states. It's not going to change. And what I'm trying to figure out is CNN. I mean, Trump in his campaign has so much free commercials. There's thousands of hours of these two saying all these things about black people and doing the crime bill and all that. How is CNN going to defend her? Because they're the ones.
Well, I mean, here they are trying to get the black vote, right? So here you have Biden, who likes to ask black people if they're junkies, and then his running mates, Kamala Harris, who put thousands upon thousands of black men in prison for smoking weed and other things. So, I don't know how the black vote's going to react. Has BLM released a statement yet on this?
What? I know you can do it anyways, but watch CNN and see how their narrative changes overnight. Because they have to rewrite the whole book. This is great. And I'm hoping that maybe tonight or sometime this week, someone on Fox has Tulsi Gabbard on and let her put her 2 cents and see what she's got to say.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing about the Democrats, no matter what, they stick together.
Well, let me tell you something too. The female vote, which I think strongly behind Trump. See, the reason I think Trump does so well with women, I think women like strong men. I don't think they like metrosexual, wimpy guys. And Trump's a man's man. But when it comes to Kamala Harris, every article mentions that she was the mistress of Willie Brown. She was having sex. Not only was she having sex with a married man, she was doing it for personal gain, and she knew he was married. And there's a photo circulating everywhere of her at his victory night party, where you have Kamala Harris, the mistress, on one side, the wife on the other. I want to hear from some women today. How do you feel about a woman who is sleeping with a married man knowingly? Sleeping with a married man for personal gain. What do women think about that? I don't think they like that.
I don't think they do either. So we'll see when it comes down to the vote.
Why do you think Trump endorsed her yesterday? He said that was his pick. Women, I'm serious about this. Listen, we have women in this audience. As a woman, how do you feel about a woman who knowingly is having sex, having an affair? They call it dating. They're calling it dating. A married man. I want to hear from some women on that.
He was. It doesn't matter, but when she was 30, he was 60.
Oh, I know.
So I'm like, wow, this is. And in the beginning, when I heard the debates, I heard about that. I didn't think anything of it. But then, like yesterday, it started popping up. I'm like, yeah, they have quite a romping, those two.
Well, this thing with Willie Brown and her, this has been confirmed by both of them. And a lot of people forget Willie Brown. He was the mayor of San Francisco. He was a powerhouse mover and shaker in the Democrat Party for many, many years. And that at the time that she was dating him, they call it dating. Oh my goodness, dating. My relationship. Come on.
Well, yeah, they're all cut from the Pelosi cloth, so they're all going to stick together.
Well, Willie Brown said, so what? I helped Pelosi. I helped Gavin Newsom. I don't think he was sleeping with Gavin Newsom, and I don't think he was sleeping with Pelosi. I doubt that. Ugh. Do you think Kamala Harris is good looking?
I think she did. I still don't know why she had some work done on her face. I can't figure that out.
Well, now we know why she got it done. Do you think she's good looking?
Yes, I thought she was good looking before.
Really? Well, it depends on what the standard of beauty is. If the standard of beauty is she good looking for a United States senator, that's a different standard than is she an attractive woman. You know what I mean? Because, when you get into the world of politics, there's a lower bar.
I think that she is an attractive woman, but when she starts talking, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's Nancy Lugosi or something. I feel like it's San Francisco values.
Yeah. All right, Mike in Boca. Thanks for the call, Mike. Take care. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's your favorite caller from Coral Springs. I gave you a break for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a mail carrier invoke my name last week. Good to know that I'm getting through to some people.
Well, you're not getting through to yourself. That wasn't last week. That was like a day ago. You were called 2 days ago, 1 or 2 days ago. I think it was yesterday's show. So you've been listening. Okay, good. You see, you're addicted to this show. This show is like crack. Best show on the radio.
It's not addiction. I feel like I'm serving the American people by cutting through your nonsense.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, getting back to your question about Kamala Harris's affair, you exemplify the hypocrisy of your party. You talk about Kamala. Hello, am I still there?
Yeah.
I mean, muted like
you're not muted. I'm waiting to hear.
This is the hypocrisy with your party. Trump has an affair with a prostitute while Melania is pregnant, and you got the nerve to sit on this show and talk what you're talking.
Oh, slow down a second here. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Excuse me. Who is this prostitute that President Trump supposedly had an affair with?
Oh, see, now you're going to play coy.
No. Give me the name. The name of the prostitute.
Nobody. Stormy Daniels.
Oh, well, Stormy Daniels is not a prostitute. She was an adult film actress.
Still cheating on his...
Excuse me. That is not true. But let's just say it is. Let's just say it's not true. It's not true. President Trump's a germaphobe. He's not going to have sex with someone from the adult sex business, all right? But for the discussion, for your fantasy, let's just assume it's real. What is the difference? Now, again, Trump did not have sex with Stormy Daniels, but for Coral Springs Al here, let's just say it's true for the discussion because he'll get bogged down in that and avoid the issue. Let's say it's true that President Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels. On one occasion is what her accusation was. What is the difference between that and Kamala Harris and Willie Brown?
This is what I'm talking about your hypocrisy.
No. What is the difference? What is the difference between the Stormy Daniels Trump fantasy you have and Kamala Harris and Willie Brown?
On the person who's going to eviscerate.
Are you capable of ingesting new information and processing and having a conversation? Excuse me. Stormy Daniels, which isn't true, but her accusation is that she had sex with the president one time, which is not true. But, Kamala Harris was sleeping with a man. She had a relationship with a man who was married, would go to events where the wife was at, and he appointed her to her first statewide position. Don't you see the difference in that?
Here we go, once again,
Steve Kane Show.
You and your party
Steve Kane Show.
Can't argue about the merits of anybody. You look for some.
Tell me the name of a Republican woman who slept her way into her position in the Republican Party, who holds office. Give me the name of a Republican woman who holds office that got that office because she was having sex with a married man that she wasn't married to. Hello?
You keep muting my...
You're not muted. You're not muted. You're just a victim. Give me the name of a Republican woman who holds a federal office who got in that position because she was having sex with a man who was married, not to her, and appointed her to her first big job.
Like I said, this is what you're trying to do. All you can talk about is sex and how she looks.
Well, I think, listen, if you're going to give someone, if Biden became president, there's about a 95% chance the vice president would become president. And I think when a woman has sex with a man that she knows is married for personal gain, I don't know if that's someone I want to give the nuclear football and America's secrets to.
Okay, whatever, man. Listen. Back to something more important. I'm going to do something rare here and give your man Trump some credit for something. How about that?
Hello? McFly? What do you want me to do? Do a dance? I'm waiting. Come on.
I'm going to do you a favor and give you...
I heard it the first time. Dude, what's the favor?
I'm going to give him some credit. Trump is crazy like a fox. He all for the last 2 months, he's been ranting and raving about mail-in ballot fraud. So this is what the American people need to do. They need to look at who he just appointed to his postmaster general position. I guarantee you that mailer guy, the mail master,
What's the name of the postmaster general that Trump appointed?
The guy.
What's his name? You got the beef with him. What's his name?
His name is Louis DeJoy. I'm going to say it again. Louis DeJoy.
Okay, tell me about Louis DeJoy.
Louis DeJoy. Trump even went as far as changing the name of his position from Postmaster General to CEO.
So what? Tell me about him. What's your problem with him?
You know what's cutting about that? When you're a CEO in government through politics, when you're a CEO in government...
Oh my gosh. I don't know about a CEO, but I know about a zero, and this calls a zero. Oh my gosh. This is interesting. So now the Democrats are saying that a woman sleeping with a man that she knows is married, which is referred to as a homewrecker, that's okay. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
Two bow ties in the back of my Infiniti. So I called them up, and I feel like I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which the tires I'm looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, the price is good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody could buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables.
I was sitting there
Call toll free
waiting at the button.
1-855
Oh, yeah.
FLA
And he was...
3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane
All right,
Show.
welcome
on
back, everyone. Make sure you
iHeartRadio.
subscribe,
Just search
people.
for WWN.
You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, this is Mike.
Mike in Louisiana. How you doing? So what do you think? What we got a home wrecker running for vice president now with Biden.
And here's the deal. We know Trump's history with women, right? I mean, he was kind of messing around with Marla Maples as he was married to Ivanka.
Oh, no. He had an affair with Marla Maples. Everybody knows that. But he did not have an affair with... See, this is what the left do. Notice he's got us talking about Stormy Daniels again. John, I'll just say this last thing about Stormy Daniels, and let's get back to the 2020 here. President Trump is a germaphobe, like we all are these days under, with the... Would a germaphobe... who has access, by the way, to the women of the world, would a germaphobe have sex with a sex worker?
No.
Of course not. That's insane. Porn actors are sex workers, by the way. That's So Kamala, let's talk about what's going on with Kamala.
Right, and that's the thing. Think about it. You look at. And your last call was talking about, you and your party,
Got
the
an itch on my back.
With Kamala,
I'm gonna go scratch my back.
You look at some of the Republicans. You may not like some of the Republican women like Olympia Snow and Susan Collins and Murkowski out of Alaska and stuff. Yeah, they may have done some underhanded bad things.
I scratched my back on
maybe
the
not the
regime.
Republicans.
Steve Kane Show.
They got into their office in a legitimate way.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why they hated Sarah Palin. Hillary Clinton didn't make it on her own. She got there because her husband was the president of the United States. Kamala Harris got where she's at because she had an affair with a married man who was an important person in the Democrat Party, in particular California, Willie Brown. Sarah Palin did it on her own. She didn't have sex with some well-connected guy. Her family wasn't rich, or she didn't go to Harvard or Yale or anything. And that's why they hated Sarah Palin, because unlike Hillary, unlike Kamala, she's a true feminist dream come true, right? Did it on her own. Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah, and when they hated the fact that, and we may disagree with Kane a lot, but they hated the fact that he picked her for his vice president.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried...
because she's a woman who did it on her own. She didn't, And Kamala Harris, I don't think, she's got a problem with women, and she's got a problem with African Americans. The problem with women is that she's a homewrecker with the Willie Brown affair. I know they keep calling it dating, and I think that photograph of her at the Willie Brown victory speech when she is there with the wife, that's disgusting. That's just disgusting to me that she would go on top of what she was doing. She's there with the wife, and the wife knows. My goodness.
I don't want to be crude about it, but she slept her way into her first political job.
Her first statewide position was. Yeah.
You got to understand these guys. I mean, yeah, the Kennedys had their things with women. All three of them. John, President Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, and of course, we know what Ted did, right?
Yeah.
Kennedys did it with women that maybe or maybe not were good-looking women, but but these women were not looking to get ahead. Whereas that, I keep going back. I can't get.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, all right, take care, Mike in Louisiana. All right, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brian. This is Hank from Hollywood.
Hey, Hank.
Well, first of all, Al from Coral Springs, you might have to really consider taking his, if he's not going to answer questions, you know, when you have a dialogue with him, maybe you shouldn't take his call.
Yeah.
Back to, let's get back to Kamala Harris. A couple days ago, whether it was yesterday or the day before, I believe it was Willie Brown himself took out an op-ed telling her not to take the position if offered.
Yes.
So what I think, my brain's working is, they knew in the Democrat Party, or the ones that are in the know, they knew he was going to pick Kamala Harris. And we're always told that the Democrats are always so united, or always so, you know, together and everything else. And I believe there was a struggle going on. I believe Willie Brown and a lot of black liberals in that organization was trying not to get Kamala Harris to take that position, because there's a fight going on between the white liberals and the black liberals for the Democrat Party. And the black liberals are probably saying to Kamala and to themselves, Kamala's one of our rising stars, and we don't want her dirtied up by Joe Biden and his...
Yeah.
And that's what I...
Well, you know, I think this affair with Willie Brown is fair game. You know, you can't run around pretending to be the defender of women when you were having an affair that you call dating with a man who was married, and you go to events with the wife there. I mean, that is so low life.
It's equally as disgusting as what Hillary was doing when they were going after the bimbo eruption, I guess they called it back.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing. It's I believe, especially in politics, whatever the person is saying or accusing the other person of doing, it's them themselves. If they're being racist or bigoted or cheating on our wives, it is them that are the bigot, the racist, the cheater on the wives.
Yeah. Well, you know, I with this thing with Kamala, with Willie Brown, they act like there was nothing wrong there. I saw, well, he was living apart from the wife. Was he? I don't know. And what does that mean? He had an apartment on the other side of town? I don't know what this means. You know, I mean, it's all this, it seems to me, I think Willie Brown didn't want her to be picked because he knows what's going to happen with this. You know, and a guy like that's got other women. So it's only a matter of time before we find out about other women with Willie Brown, and he doesn't want all, you know, and it's going to go very bad for Kamala Harris because of this, I think. On top of the fact that she put all those black guys in prison for smoking weed.
Oh, and didn't she say her dad was a pot?
What's disgusting about that?
He was from Jamaica or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she was laughing about smoking weed herself. On that Charlemagne show. Wasn't it on Charlemagne's show, that Breakfast Club thing? Yeah. So she's putting people in prison for what she says she was herself doing. Yeah, she's got a lot of baggage. She's got a lot of problems. Do you think she's good looking?
No.
Okay. I don't either.
I believe a prerequisite of being a liberal woman, or a man, or a liberal woman especially, you have to be unattractive. Because you have to be miserable.
Yeah.
Liberal Party.
You have to be miserable?
Yeah, you fit in perfect with the liberals because you're absolutely miserable.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's why when Steve says all the pretty women are on Fox, and why don't they go to CNN? Because you have to be miserable to be on CNN, and usually it's the unpretty women that are really miserable.
You know, I'm trying to think, is there anyone who's hot on CNN or MSNBC?
But, sir.
All right, take care, man. Oh, man, Hank, that's a good call. All right, we'll be right back.
It's hurricane season again. This year, forecasters predict as many as 10 hurricanes. Are you prepared if a hurricane strikes? Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware is your hurricane preparation location. You don't want to go through hurricane season without a generator. Ace carry generators for all size homes at prices to fit every budget. Once a hurricane is on television, generators are the first thing to sell out, but you will have the security of knowing you will not be without electricity if a hurricane hits. With your generator from Ace, you will have the security for every hurricane season to come. Ace also have an incredible selection of chainsaws to cut away the fallen debris. Ace Hardware Deerfield is just south of Hillsboro on the west side of US 1. Beach Ace Hardware is located at 232 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, your first stop for hurricane prep. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Dr. Matez, we talk about charisma. Hormone replacement pellet therapy brings back a lot of things in people, and one of the things I think it brings back is charisma, because I've met many listeners that are patients of Dr. Matez that I've met before they were patients of Dr. Matez, and I notice a big difference. And one thing I notice is a lot of confidence in guys after they start hormone replacement pellet therapy.
I agree with you 100%, bro.
Yeah,
Get your mojo back. It's really what
It
it is.
changes your life. It changes the way you view the world. You know how I put it once? This was years and years ago. Looking at the world after having the hormone therapy, and you look at the world, and the world is like in Technicolor, and when you give up the hormone therapy, it's like watching the world in black and white. It's just an amazing difference. Like
That's a
fuller,
fantastic analogy.
isn't it?
It is.
And it's true. That's a big difference.
It is. As we get older, we both physically and mentally break down, and we tend to get into a very black and white type of existence, a lot of people. Everybody's different. But when you get your hormone levels back and you get that vigor back, you feel good. Suddenly things are very bright and colorful.
And I experience this myself, and I see it on listeners, is I'll see a guy, and he's like, and then I'll see him after he has become a patient of yours with hormone replacement pellet therapy. He seems like he's standing up strong, confident, 10 feet tall. What is it about hormone replacement pellet therapy that does that to guys?
I believe it's because you're putting God's nectar back into the body, basically. God gave us testosterone in particular to give us energy and strength and endurance and muscle mass. It's what makes not just men, it's what makes people. And a lack of it takes all of those things away from you.
So we'll meet with Steve Kane listeners at no charge?
Always.
What is the number they can call to make that appointment?
561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWE.
Hey guys, welcome back. If you follow me on YouTube, you may have seen this. And if you're not, go to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube. I took my daughter to the doctor yesterday, and I pulled into this parking lot, right down the street from here, where I'm from the radio station actually. And just coincidentally next to me was a car that was owned by a woman who was formerly a Democrat who has walked away from the Democrat Party. And she had her entire car with white shoe polish on it, #walk away, I left the Democrat Party, and she had all this stuff written all over her car, Trump 2020. Go check out that video. It's pretty funny. And I actually waited for the woman to come out because I wanted to meet the woman, which I did. So Brian Craig on YouTube. It's was an unbelievable event. All right, so let's go to the phones. Richie the bus driver, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Isn't it wonderful to have Kamala Harris?
Yeah, and Trump's already endorsed her, so we're behind her.
This idiot Al, he is an idiot, man. I mean, he gets a call to say that's what's wrong with your party. You're looking at a person's looks and they have called, his party is called the President of the United States, a white supremacist, Hitler, everything in the book, and they have not even looked at any of his accomplishments because all they've done is personally attack.
Well, listen, and let's just talk about Kamala Harris here, and these things I'm talking about are not just attacks. This is about her character. Kamala Harris will put black men in prison that have done what she says she's done, smoked weed for personal gain. She will take a married man into her, bedroom for political personal gain. I think she's a person of low moral character, and what else would she do for and has done for personal gain? It's sadistic. Putting thousands of black men in prison for doing what said she did on the radio.
Not just that; it's what she did to get where she got. That's one thing.
Oh.
Once she got there, and she hasn't been a senator. She's like Obama.
Well, how many lives has she destroyed to get where she is? And by the way, those lives she destroyed are all Democrat lives, right? Willie Brown's wife, all these men that she incarcerated. How many people's lives has she destroyed for personal gain?
That she said, and then when she found out there were people against her, she tried to backtrack. She's an empty suit, like the guy running for president, who's an empty mind. This is great. This is great. I'll tell you something. This is the best. This is a gift. And the reason they picked her, and Biden didn't pick her. Biden didn't even know where he is with his upside down cell phone.
Yeah, upside down cell phone and notes. Like he's talking to Kamala. And all I saw, by the way, was a still picture. Have you seen the video of that exchange? You saw?
She was picked for a reason, okay? She was picked because the fact is that Biden is a racist. And that is a fact. And now they're going to say, well, you can't say Biden's a racist by putting a black woman in who's basically a racist.
I don't think so. I think she was picked for the same reason Mikey was picked to try the live cereal. Nobody else wanted it. Nobody else wanted it that had any sense of credibility. At least she's in the Senate. These other people I never heard of, and Susan Rice has got all that Benghazi baggage, and Elizabeth Warren with the fake Indian stuff. But no one else wanted it. And and when I talk about these lives she destroyed for personal gain, that is true, and that's scary to me, that someone would destroy people's lives for the slightest bit of personal gain. That's low life to me.
It is, but here's the other deal. Okay, here's the other deal. You have a party here that had 100 black men threaten to say they weren't going to come out to vote for Biden if they didn't put a black woman in.
Yeah, so Black Lives Matter will be running the country, I guess. With Biden.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. You're not picking somebody, the most qualified person. You're picking somebody because of their skin color, which is absolutely racist. That is the big...
Yeah.
Simply do.
Well, no, he was told do it. He was ordered to. It was a threat. Do it or else. By the way, it looks like you were right. It looks like the guy that got shot at the White House was African American, or is African American. Yeah.
Here's the other thing, and real quick. I know you don't. This is a great topic. I'm honest to God. Did you get my message last night?
Yeah, I got your message. Yeah.
Did you see what the guy said?
Yeah, I saw that story yesterday. He was inaccurate. It was he was inaccurate. That's okay. It's okay. They're not. You're talking about the Portland prosecutor. She's not pressing charges against most of them. She's dropping charges, not all, but most. But that's okay. He hyped it up a little bit. He seems like an all right guy.
You.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Like I know? Oh, really? We live in the same hood?
Pretty close. Hey, listen, not for...
I subscribe to his channel. Maybe I'll connect with him then if he's local. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. He's PT News Network.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's the deal. Kamala Harris. Okay, she to me.
What's this Trump lie about? Call me 45.
She's just an attack dog. That's what they got her basically. And the blacks didn't even want her to start with. She got 2% of the vote.
Well, there's another. Well, yeah, 2%. That's great. She got. And think about this. She got 2% more of the vote than I got, or you got, Richie. That's hot pick there. I'll tell you another thing too. There's a real question as to whether or not she's an African American or an African Canadian. When she was 12 years old, her mother took her to Canada, and she was in Canada for her entire schooling through high school. And I believe that those are the years when a person's worldview is formed. When I think about my youth, 12 and through high school, those are the days. Does she have any connection to the African American community? There's another, or is she African Canadian? There's another thing too. There's another question too. She's got a big problem with blacks. Okay, putting all the black men in prison for smoking weed's a big one. This death penalty case where she covered up some evidence, the Tulsi Gabbard. I'm sure we'll hear about that. But she's also married to a white guy. And how does that fly with the black men and women of the Democrat voting base and BLM that she's married to a white man? Are they going to hide him? I didn't see him even on TV yesterday with his wife celebrating this announcement. Did you see him with her yesterday live?
This is because they're having a big thing today. Listen, one thing that's really got me crazy here that people ought to realize. This woman is incompetent and she's basically a gold digger. President Trump had the power. He had the power. No matter who he slept with, the women slept with him because he was the power. She was trying to get power by sleeping with a man.
Yeah.
And that's disgusting. But the problem is, you said, well, nobody cares about the vice president. In this case, you better care about the vice president because Biden won't even get.
No.
Into the White House, don't you, Lyndon Johnson?
Oh yeah, there's another problem too. You're right, Richie. There's another problem too. I forgot about this one. Her father said that their family owned slaves. Her father said that.
Yeah.
Her family owned slaves. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But
is there any redeeming quality with Kamala Harris? Is there anything redeeming about her as a pick? Her family owned slaves. She's married to a white guy. She put black men in prison for doing what she said she did. She's a home wrecker. What is there any redeeming quality? Do you think she's good looking?
No. No. I thought she was better looking when she was younger. But not.
Well, everybody looks better when they're younger, right? Except Hillary Clinton.
Not for nothing, but she's going to be a heartbeat away if he wins, and this country's in big trouble. Look at her policy. That's all we have to do. Go to her policies and see, is this what the United States of America wants to be? She wants open borders. She's against ICE. She wants to demolish them. She's really, really, and the press is going to give her a free pass. And it's like she's saying, well, she's in the middle. If that's the middle, there's something wrong.
Well, if they made such a big deal about this fantasy affair between Stormy Daniels and Trump, which did not happen. I do not believe that happened. But that they spent a year on that with Avenatti moving into CNN. I think Kamala Harris's extramarital affair with Willie Brown is fair game. And and we know it's true because both of them have confirmed it's true.
Listen, the word is when I used to go out when I was single years ago, when you used to see an old man with a young woman, you used to say, "Oh, you know what that is, don't you?" And that's exactly Kamala Harris. 30 years difference between the man she was having an affair with,
yes,
and a married man on top of that.
Yes,
she was a dirtbag then. And Hamali Gillum, or whatever her name is, the prosecutor, the lawyer out in California, the Indian lawyer, on Laura last night said her record as a prosecutor was dismal.
Yeah. All right, tell us what you really think. Okay, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Strong opinions on the phone today. I want to hear from a woman. I want to hear a woman tell me how they feel about a woman like Kamala Harris having sex with a man that she knows is married and going to events where the wife is at. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane with a K, K-A-N-E. A K, like in Kamala, K-A-N-E, and the number 1. Numerically, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. 1 hour down. 2 hours to go. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll be back after this.
9.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
No,
for this
that's an
incredible
emotional
offer.
thing.
Buy one MyPillow, get
Women
another
don't
one
like
free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE. 888-GO-KANE-1.
All right. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Hour number 2 has begun 3 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about Kamala Harris this morning. I know her name is it's not Kamala, it's Kamala or whatever. I'm calling her Kamala. In a couple months we won't have to worry about that anymore. But regardless, if I could have one interview today, it wouldn't be Kamala. It wouldn't be Joe Biden. It'd be his wife, Jill Biden. Dr. Jill Biden, doctor of English, going around implying she's a doctor of medicine. I'd like to interview Jill Biden right now today, and my question to Jill Biden would be this. Jill Biden, Dr. Biden, your husband has picked Kamala Harris to be his running mate. What are your thoughts on Kamala Harris admitting that she had an affair with a married man, Willie Brown, and went to events with his wife? How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts on that, Dr. Biden? Oh, man, I'd love to hear that. Oh, man, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane with a K, like in Kamala. K-A-N-E, and the number 1. 888-465-2631. But I'll tell you what, in just a few short months, December 6th, we will be on the Celebrity Edge, sailing, celebrating the re-election of President Trump on the Steve Kane Trump 2020 Victory Cruise. And on the line from Cruise and Travel Depot, we have Ian. Hey, Ian.
Brian, good morning.
Oh, yeah. I know. It looks like a beautiful day to be on a cruise ship.
Family?
Oh, yeah.
4 months away?
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm looking forward. 4 months away. We're going to be on the Celebrity Edge out of Fort Lauderdale. I'm very excited, because the Celebrity Edge, it's been a rough year. We need a vacation. Celebrity Edge is the most advanced cruise ship on the oceans, and we have the most famous captain, Captain Kate, who's the first female to captain a U.S. vessel here in the cruise industry, which is very exciting. I'm looking forward to meeting her, and we're just going to have a great time with our Trump fans on our Victory Cruise.
From time to time, you just never know. Maybe we'll all get to meet her.
Oh, yeah. And she's a lot better looking than Kamala Harris, I'll tell you that. That's true. So now so tell everybody about the cruise, Ian. It's coming up. What will people experience when they are with us on the Trump 2020 Victory Cruise that leaves December 6th for a week?
We've got a plethora of great events that, were exclusively to our group. As you know, the Celebrity Edge has 4 unique main dining rooms. We've got parties together. We've got group events, live interactive radio talk show. Working on those short excursions, there was a group. Those of us who came last year remember the Chechivon ruins and the Blue Lagoons.
Oh, yeah.
Planned something.
That was a great day.
Better.
Yeah, well, we're planning a lot of activities on board the ship for when we're at sea and on the ship throughout the different days that we're on board together, which everyone in our group is invited to. We've got a lot of great events. And, if you did not go with us on our last cruise, go to my YouTube channel, go to SteveKaneShow.com, watch the video of our last cruise, and then watch the video tour of the Celebrity Edge. But when you watch the video of our last cruise, you'll see what a great time we have with great people. And that day at the Mayan ruins in the Blue Lagoon was one of the most fun days I've ever had in my life. And it was amazing. Ray, who is way into his 80s, went out with us to the Mayan ruins in the jungles of Mexico into the Blue Lagoon. It was absolutely amazing. So all ages are welcome.
It was a great excursion, and the stops this year are San Juan, Puerto Rico, which is a fantastic stop and sometimes underrated. The island of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, which is a beautiful island with pristine beaches, and the fantastic port of St. Martin, which has some of the best shopping in the Caribbean for those who like to shop.
Yeah, and we're stopping in San Juan just so I can have a pina colada out of a coconut. I think is that's the main reason to go to San Juan. We're gonna have a great time, and you're all invited. And obviously because of this year's events, there's incredible bargains on the Celebrity Edge, and you will never again have an opportunity to sail on the most advanced cruise ship on the planet at the prices you'll get right now, because the prices are out of this world low.
That's true, and there's only going to be, for at least the foreseeable future, only 2 Edge-class ships because of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is really a once-in-a-lifetime event. And those of you that already made reservations, don't worry. Ian already adjusted your price for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you made reservations previously, touch base with Ian if you haven't touched base with him in a while, too. But listen, if you guys have, you told me one story. There's one lady who's coming with us who has cruised before. She's cruised alone. We have people that come alone, and because we got this great group, and she was telling you how she's looking forward to being in this Trump 2020 victory group because she finds herself as an outcast when she cruises alone without a group like this, because she's a Trump person. A lot of people want nothing to do with her, so she's looking forward to being part of our group.
Tough time, meeting other people to hang out with and go to shows together. But this group has become like a cruise family.
Oh, yeah.
It's our 4th outing, and people come from around the country, and this is really the only opportunity they have to see each other, and it's something that everybody looks forward to.
Absolutely. And our cruise family grows each and every year. Listen, give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call. He'll go over all the details. We have an incredible itinerary plan. We're adding to it all the time. And he'll go through all of that with you when you call him up on the phone. And again, go to and look at my video of tour of the Celebrity Edge. This is the most advanced, luxurious cruise ship on the planet Earth. And because of world events, you will never again have an opportunity to sail on this vessel at these incredible low prices. Plus, you'll be with us on our Trump 2020 victory cruise. Ian's number is 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon.
Is upon us.
Oh, yes.
Everybody who is booked, try to get with me, at their convenience during business hours so we can process that final payment and start the check process and get ready to sail.
That's right. All right, Ian, take care. We'll talk later in the week. All right, yeah, I need a vacation so bad. I mean, don't you guys need a vacation? Oh, man, and to celebrate the re-election of the president. All right, so we are talking about Kamala Harris. There's a lot of confusion about Kamala Harris. And it's interesting. There was a confusion about her ethnicity. There's confusion about her ethnicity, and a lot of it has to do with herself. Listen to this. This is there are two news clips here, and they claim two different things about Kamala Harris. Let me see here. Which one is it? Okay, listen to this.
California's Attorney General Kamala Harris has scripted history as she won the U.S. Senate seat from the state, becoming the first Indian American to achieve this feat.
Wow, so Kamala Harris is the first Indian American to become the U.S. Senator from California. That's the first report, and then there's another report after that. It's very confusing.
California's Attorney General Kamala Harris has scripted history as she won the U.S. Senate seat from the state, becoming the first Indian American to achieve this feat.
Certainly can become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
On this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Senator Kamala Harris becomes the first African American to enter the 2020 presidential race. Harris is a freshman Democratic senator from California. She's the second African American female senator in U.S. history.
Okay, so what is it? Is she the first Indian? Or is she the first African? I understand you could be both. See, this is the thing, okay? Kamala Harris is whatever she has to be at any particular moment in time to get what she wants. If she has to be the lover of a married man to get what she wants, she'll be that. If she has to put African American men by the thousands in prison for doing what she says she did, smoke weed, she'll do it because that's what she needs to do. If she needs to be an Indian American, she'll be that. If she needs to be an African American, she'll be that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, man. Great pick, Biden. We can't blame Biden for this. He didn't. He has no idea. He has no idea. He has no idea. Yeah, I know. It's craziness. And I know that they've got all these other women that were on the list out there, endorsing her now. Amy Klobuchar. Wonder if Amy Klobuchar had her staff wash her dishes yesterday. Remember she had that problem, Amy Klobuchar. This is so exciting. The Democrats had a disaster of a nominee, and now they've just compounded that. I don't know if there's anyone they could have brought on board that would help them, but you could have someone come on at the bottom of the ticket that could bring credibility to the campaign, and she's not bringing that. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, you can't blame Biden. He just assumed that all African Americans were the same culture. He didn't know that they were different.
Yeah. They all think alike. I mean, I wonder if he asked her if she's a junkie, like he asked that guy the other day. You a junkie?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Are you a junkie?
That was terrible. Apparently Hispanics have come from all over the place, but black people don't.
Yeah.
So really, he really messed that up because they told him to pick an African American woman, and he messed that up. I mean,
oh yeah,
she's Jamaican and Indian.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
and African Canadian. We haven't heard from a single female today. I know we've got women in this audience. How do you think women feel about a woman having an affair with a man that she knows that she is married and going to events with the wife? What kind of person does that?
Oh, they hate that, and this is.
Oh yeah, they hate that. Yeah, they do.
A terrible pick.
Having Kamala Harris at that there's that photo that's all over the place today of Willie Brown's victory speech. He has Kamala on his left, his wife on the right, and you see Kamala's glowing as she's looking at him in that photograph. That's really lowlife.
Is it who does Laura have on her show? That Harvey Dillon, that attorney in California, and
yeah,
she was saying that Kamala just is always looking for the next move. I mean, even when she was Attorney General out there, she was looking to move up to the next step. She really didn't even...
Well, it's okay to be ambitious and want to move up to the next step, but when you're destroying the lives of people to do it, putting thousands of guys in prison for smoking weed, and now you laugh and say you did the same thing. You destroyed their lives, not just their lives, but the lives of their families and children, for personal gain. And how do you think Willie Brown's wife felt when she was standing at that victory speech with her husband's mistress on the other side? Yeah, how do you think that made her feel?
Oh, like just what?
Steve, I hit the wrong thing. You're on the radio. Sorry about that. I missed up that. Good morning. Caught you off guard. Oh, a female voice finally can weigh in on this homewrecker thing.
Writing. No, the only reason why you're not hearing a female voice is because we probably couldn't say the words we want to say on the radio about how we feel about her.
Well, try to articulate. I mean, a homewrecker is what that woman like that's called.
A person with no morals. That's it.
And she brags about it. We dated.
I think that she was the best pick because now Trump is totally it if he wasn't already, because that was the best thing that ever happened to Republicans. Best thing.
I really think women despise women that are homewreckers.
Really, it's happened to me. Yes.
Really?
Long time ago, over 25 years ago. Yep.
So you had a Kamala Harris type come into your husband's life?
Oh, she was married and I was married, and it's a horrible situation. Horrible.
Let me ask you, did your husband's mistress ever come to events that you were at?
Oh, she showed up at my place of work with him, and I didn't know at the time what was going on.
Oh my goodness! So she knew. So I mean, what kind of that's? So she was a Kamala Harris type.
I went to her house, and her husband. I found all the love notes between them. I left them with him. He was so in love with his wife, he kept her. I moved on.
Wow.
They had money. I didn't have money, meaning the woman did and her husband.
Yeah.
We had a 2-year-old little girl together. Best thing I ever did.
Well, good for you. But this thing with Kamala Harris, when I see that photo of her at the event with Willie Brown, with the wife on the one side and she's on the other, she's glowing. I mean, she doesn't even have she's not even ashamed.
Not ashamed, not at all. That's a person who has no morals. There's no right from wrong. Nope, and will do whatever she needs to do, like you said before, to get wherever she has to be. Just move her life right along. It's very selfish.
I wonder how the Me Too kind of people would feel about it. I said at the top, and it's very true, I think because of what they did with Stormy Daniels, this is certainly fair game. I would love someone to ask Jill Biden about this, Biden's wife. I mean, I know that a wife would not want their husband around a homewrecker. They just wouldn't want it.
Nope.
Because once they do it,
Look what she's doing to Joe. So you know what? Do you think Joe really cares?
He was so distracted, he had his phone upside down talking to her.
The whole thing is so sad, and it's just sad what's going on with Joe Biden.
So I guess maybe we can have a new, we've got like Women for Trump, Latinos for Trump. Can we have victims of homewreckers for Trump now? Victims of homewreckers for Trump. Yeah, it's a lot of... All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Can someone think of a better name? Victims of homewreckers for Trump. Yeah, I know. I know it's not... Hey, this is live. Okay, we'll come up with something better, but I like that. I like it. All right, let's take a break. 20 minutes after the hour. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. We'll be back.
Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had 2 ball tires in the back of my Infiniti. So I called them up, and I feel like I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price?
And
half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
half the price, and not only that, his tires, which nobody, the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is a 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, the price is good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody could buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
This is Steve Kane, and I wanted to share with you some thoughts about why I chose the Gardens of Boca Raton to be my final resting place. I have always been uncomfortable with thoughts of death and dying, but the very first time that I visited the Gardens of Boca Raton, I could feel my apprehensions vanish. Just knowing that I'd be spending eternity with my family in such magnificent surroundings lifted my spirits. The Gardens of Boca Raton is an all-faith, above-ground cemetery with tranquil surroundings, a place where your loved ones can come and visit you time and time again, remembering and celebrating your life. The gardens have caring professionals available to help you in your time of need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pre-need with 0% financing is available and prevents your family from having to deal with these matters at the time of their grief and sorrow. The Gardens of Boca Raton, dedicated to all those who have lived and all those who live today. Let the Gardens take care of your family as they are taking care of my family. Schedule a tour today. Call 877-PLAN-561 or online at thegardens.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show. We're talking about this wonderful pick that has been endorsed by President Trump, Kamala Harris. So, if I were interviewing Kamala Harris today, there's a lot of things I would want to ask, but the first thing I would do to be most relevant, I would play something to her. I would play the Black Lives Matter leader from Chicago statement and ask her thoughts on this. This statement was made after Louis Vuitton was looted in Chicago the other night.
If somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations. Anything they want to take it, because these businesses have insurance. They're going to get their money back. My people aren't getting anything.
All right, that's Black Lives Matter Chicago leader after the looting the other night. Senator Harris, do you condemn the actions of Black Lives Matter and Antifa? Yeah. Conservative Doug, you're on the radio.
Conservative Doug, good morning. Unbelievable. I think the only reason he picked her because he's desperate for the black vote.
Well, hold on. Slow down. When you say he picked her, you mean Joe Biden. Do you really think Joe Biden picked her?
Oh, well, why?
I mean, personally. Do you think he personally picked Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, who had his phone upside down when he was talking to her, reading off the notes yesterday?
Absolutely not. He probably said, oh, yeah, okay, whatever you guys say. I think she's only picked because she has a pretty smile. Other than that, she's garbage. And maybe they'll get some black votes for it, but
I mean, would your now the fantasy is they win and they're working in the White House together. You're a married man. Would your wife let you work with a woman side by side who's a homewrecker, who's had affairs with married men in the past? Would your wife allow that? Mine wouldn't.
no, my wife wouldn't like that at all.
Hell no.
Not only that, she said that she knows that Biden was guilty of having an affair. Maybe they're going to have an affair together. Maybe that's...
Yeah, she believes the women who made claims against Biden.
Yeah.
My wife, let me tell you something. If I said, okay, my partner and my career is going to be this homewrecker who's had affairs knowingly with married men that she calls dating, my wife would throw me out of the house. I mean, she would think, "What the hell are you doing?" Is that you know? And would you blame her?
No, I don't blame her. I think it's a terrible thing.
Would you trust? Would your wife trust? It was like when Obama was president. He went on a secret golf trip in Palm Beach, and he was golfing with Tiger Woods, and this was soon after the Woods scandals. And I believe he kept it a secret because Michelle didn't want him on the golf course with Tiger Woods, because Tiger Woods, we know what he was doing back in those days, right? And married women do not like their... I promise you, Jill Biden is pissed and feels betrayed.
I think maybe she knows that Joe is so gone that he is not going to have much of a problem with...
Oh, really? You think he's straightened up now? And it doesn't matter. Wives do not want homewreckers around their husbands. They don't.
The other thing is, everybody says that these protesters are anarchists. They're the anarchists. I mean, everything they say is terrible for the country. Why the hell would anybody even want to vote for either one of them? She's worse than him. But this is what we have. I don't know, man, what's going on with this country.
Yeah.
Better get out and vote. Republicans better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they will. Don't worry. See, they don't understand. Trump is a movement, and this is the last chance we'll ever have to vote for him. So, until we get to vote for Don Jr. in the future. But this is the last time we'll get to vote for President Trump. And people will be lined up around the block to do it.
But my fear is that they'll get the Senate, and if they do that, they'll impeach Trump, throw him out, then they'll impeach.
Now, my count may be off, but I think they only need 4 Senate seats to take over.
I certainly hope we at least keep the Senate. I know we're going to win the presidency, but if we don't keep the Senate, they're going to throw him out, then throw Pence out, and we'll make Nancy Pelosi president, and then there'll be a revolution.
They'll get impeached again. Yeah, they'll probably, if the Democrats maintain the House, they'll probably impeach him again 2 or 3 times. Yeah, sure. No, it's not a simple majority in the Senate. You got to have 2/3 of the Senate, and they're not going to have 2/3 of the Senate. So don't worry, he'll be acquitted. You got to have 2/3 of the Senate. It's like passing a constitutional amendment. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because now you make me feel a little better.
I mean, I don't want them to take over the majority, But if it's 50-50, if it's 50-50, we got Pence. So you know what I mean?
I'm hoping it's going to be opposite. I think we're going to win the House, win the Senate, win the presidency, and finally this country will wake up and start.
There's a photo of Kamala Harris the first time that Willie Brown took her out in public as his girlfriend, and it was at some political event. They were at a table with Pelosi. Pelosi knew she was a mistress. Madam Speaker, did you ever think that mistress that was at dinner with you that night would be the nominee of the Democrat Party for vice president?
Yeah, but I don't think that'll ever get asked to her.
Jill Biden's the one I want to talk to. I think Jill Biden, if she did another Fox interview, like say Dana Perino or something, and they asked about the affair, I think it's unpredictable what Jill Biden says, because I think she would be so pissed she could say anything.
Well, I know everybody listens to you and...
That's right. Everybody.
They'll steal your material and...
Like they always do. That's right. That's the question. Dr. Jill Biden, how do you feel that your husband's partner in the White House will be a woman who knowingly has had sex with married men? Oh.
I think the blacks are certainly going to against her also. You know, they're hoping for blacks. I think they're most...
If I were on Fox, you know what interview I would try to get today if I were on Fox News? They could probably get this. The hottest interview in the country right now, who do you think it is? Hottest interview you could get on Fox right now, who do you think?
I would think she's Kamala.
Kamala, no. Willie Brown. Because Willie Brown loves to tell people about his affair with Kamala Harris. He gets he likes to brag about it. Get Willie Brown on and start questioning him about it. Yeah.
Be a great commercial for the president.
Oh, I think Willie Brown would go on Tucker Carlson and hang over for Hannity to talk. He loves talking about his affair with Kamala Harris. That'd be the best.
Fantastic.
And then and Jill Biden she would be pissed. But Willie Brown would be. He gets into it because he's old guy now. You know, he's old guy. He's like 90. He starts to relive it. You know what I mean? And that's when he really gets into the. Oh yeah, Willie Brown, baby. That's the one.
They say, "Oh, I was young and stupid." What could he possibly say?
Well, he was 60 years old, and she was 30. She was the same age as AOC. She wasn't a kid.
That's it, sure.
30 years old. All right, Doug, take care. We'll take our bottom of the hour break. Oh, man. That would be a hot interview. We'll be back.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
This is Steve Kane for attorney Barry Siegel. Barry did a great job for me and my family when we needed a revocable living trust. Listen to one of our listeners, Ray, talk about his experience with Barry Siegel.
I want to praise Barry Siegel. And one of the most important things about sponsors is integrity. You have to know that you're dealing with an honest person. I had to go up to Myrtle Beach with my sister.
You there? Steve? Okay.
No, I said, look, I'm calling from South Carolina. I know the laws are different, and I'm just asking for information for my sister. Now, you know,
that's right, 45.
Right? You know almost immediately.
That's right. Welcome to the show. If you're new, but you're probably just some liberal troll with a new name. But, you know.
And he answered. He was very patient. I was quite a while with him, and talked about a lot of things, you know, and this and that. But I wanted to say, you know, character, integrity. These are the most important things with sponsors, and all of your sponsors, because I've dealt with a lot of them. They all have that you can trust them and you know you're getting a fair shake.
Do what Ray did. Call attorney Barry Siegel right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. That's 1-855 toll free FLA-3782. Tell them Steve sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Welcome back, everyone. 35 minutes after the hour. Steve will be joining us in just a bit. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. We've started a new political organization here on the Steve Kane Show today. Started with one of our callers earlier, Victims of Homewreckers for Trump. It's a new group just formed about 15 minutes ago. Victims of Homewreckers for Trump formed out of women, married women, who have been victimized by mistresses who slept with their husbands when they knew they were married. Oh, yes. Boy, that's great. I love this. Maybe Don, can we get some t-shirts? Victims of homewreckers for Trump. I love it. We got to get a speaker at the next Trump rally. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know, okay, so Kamala Harris, we're trying to find, is there anything that's redeeming about Kamala Harris? Tulsi Gabbard, in my opinion, is being groomed to be the first Democrat female president or vice president. If I were to put together what the Democrat ticket thinks it will look like after Trump completes his second term, it would be at the bottom of the ticket, Tulsi Gabbard, and at the top of the ticket, Cuomo, not Fredo, the governor, and Andrew. I've been talking about this for a long time with Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, the reason she's not on the list right now, she's a minority too, not just a woman. She's Native Hawaiian, isn't she? Native Hawaiian. They don't want her burned with this losing campaign. They want her back. And you know, she's military experienced. She's respected by both sides. Liberals love her. Republicans respect her because of her military service. She's a major in the Hawaiian National Guard right now as we speak. And Tulsi Gabbard in the debates wearing all white said something interesting about Kamala Harris. I can't wait to learn more about this.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
Oh my. Oh.
She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so.
Oh my.
Kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California.
Oh my gosh, that makes her that's a slaver. That's slave labor. What else has she done? Oh my God, Tulsi Gabbard, she's on a roll.
People in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place.
Can you hear him? Second Congresswoman, enough of this. Enough of this. Stop it. She's the front runner right now. Hear how annoyed Jake Tapper is? Oh man.
Cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congress.
Oh yeah, thank you. Moving on. Yeah, so what is this deal about the guy on death row? She covered up evidence on an innocent man on death row? We need a spot about this, President Trump. Oh man, I want to hear how that happened. So it's not just Republicans that say she put thousands of black men in prison for doing something she did, smoke weed. It's Tulsi Gabbard, well-respected Democrat. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She's got some problems. These are the two most flawed candidates in the history of the major parties. I mean, you could not, you know, the type of candidates you have with Kamala Harris, homewrecker, and Joe Biden, these are like third party type candidates. This is what I would expect from, like, you know, I don't know, the Prohibition Party or Communist Party USA. They get these raggedy people that have questionable backgrounds, and they run in these third party runs because they're not credible people. I mean, these are the top nominees of the Democrat Party with this kind of background. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Okay, so so some women came forward and said that they were, well, treated inappropriately by Joe Biden. One woman, what was the woman's name with the skirt? I forgot her name. She had the same name as somebody else that's famous. Woman came forward, said she was assaulted sexually by Biden in a hallway at the Capitol, and she had a skirt on, and he put his hand up her skirt. Remember this? Oh, yeah. And Kamala Harris was asked about this. There were other women too, but that one was the most hardcore. And they go, and the reporters, they go to Kamala Harris, and say, hey, Senator, what is your comment on these women who have made allegations that Biden was inappropriate with them? Senator Kamala Harris.
I believe them, and
I believe them, she said. So, this is interesting. So she has just accepted an opportunity to run and work for the next 4 to 8 years with a man that she believes was inappropriate with women and sexually assaulted one in the hallway? That's who she chooses to work with? Oh my goodness.
I believe them, and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it.
Oh, well, hey, I got an idea. She believes them, and she respects them telling their story. On the night of the vice presidential debate, why don't we do what Bannon did on one of the Trump-Hillary debates? Why don't we have these accusers come to the Veep debate and let them tell their story? In lieu of the debate, I'm sure Vice President Pence would agree with this. In lieu of the debate between homewrecker Kamala Harris and Vice President Pence, she believes these women. She respects them wanting to tell their story. Let's bring them out. We'll have, Tapper and all the crew there, and let the women tell their stories about their encounters with Biden. Let the voters decide. We know she believes. Do you think any reporter's going to play that clip to Kamala and say, you said you believe these women, including the one who put the hand up the skirt? Any thoughts? Oh my goodness. Now you know why Trump endorsed Kamala Harris yesterday. He said that she was his top pick. And a lot of people says, he's just saying. No, he knows all this stuff, Trump. Trump's so many steps ahead. He knows more than we know. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Biden campaign. This is great. They'll have a couple of days of celebration, right? They'll come out together and do some big announcement together. This time next week, though, we're gonna start getting into the national. They'll have nowhere else to go. And there's no way in hell, Willie Brown wants to talk so bad. He might call Fox News himself to do a sit down. And I'll tell you why. There's two reasons why. He's old, he wants to relive the glory years of the affair, but also, I don't think Willie Brown likes the idea of his mistress making it to the White House. He likes to be in the power position in that relationship. Willie Brown will talk. He won't be able to control himself. It'll start with a comment here or there in a newspaper article or something, but Willie Brown will talk about this affair before the election on television, I promise you. He probably is dying to talk right now. Well, not right now. It's 3 hours behind us out there in California. He's probably still sleeping. I don't know. He's an old guy. He's probably up early. These guys get up at 4 a.m. I don't know. All right. Hey, let's take our last break of the second hour. I'm getting like Biden. I don't know what hour now. The show's flying by. So I'm losing track of time. We're over halfway through this show already. I cannot believe it. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be back after this.
Brian Craig here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you can trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes. And that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously wanted $800. He said, well, you need to take your power steering fluid, and Ed, the owner, put the car up on the lift, pulled the wheels, and said, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow. Well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser, because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack, they're crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive. Ed, who's the owner, is a listener of the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the good story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. Give me that.
This is Lori Kane, and I'm going to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Oh man, welcome back. Yeah, I just got a call from a listener during the break asking me the number for William Youngerman, which is 1-800-327-5010. Yeah, that's right. 1-800-327-5010. He, of course, sells the metals, but also buys them too. So if you have anything made of the metals, and no matter where you're located, you don't have to be in town for him to work with you. You can be anywhere in the world, and you can buy or sell. This is huge. There's been a lot of talk about losing the Drudge Report to the liberalism. I mean, the Drudge Report is hardly even readable. There was a time I didn't go on the air without going to the Drudge Report twice before I went on. I'd look at it first thing in the morning, then right before the show, looking at it during the break. And, I've even seen on the Ditto Cam with Rush, how many times over the years have you had the Ditto Cam with Rush on, you see his computer in the background, it's got Drudge on there. Well, those days are gone. I mean, it's been Lefty for a long, long time. And it's really unfortunate. I don't know if I blame Matt Drudge. I don't know how involved Matt Drudge is. I don't know. I always liked him. Well, regardless of that, it seems like a few short months ago, it's had to have been no more than a year and probably less than a year, a conservative came forward, announced that they were starting a new online news source that was going to unseat Drudge. And I thought that's a lot of wishful thinking. And they're saying they have today, that's Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino has a website, Bongino Report, and it says here, Bongino Report has replaced the Drudge Report, as the place to go, and that is true. I go to Bongino's website, BonginoReport.com, every morning before I go on the air. Bongino Report has grown into the conservative media powerhouse. That's right. It's a news site founded and operated by Dan Bongino. While Matt Drudge has been historically right-leaning, his self-titled Drudge Report has betrayed its conservative constituency this past year. No doubt about that. Many political pundits and outlets exposed Drudge for promoting anti-Trump stories during the impeachment hoax. Rush Limbaugh sounded the alarm in June of last year on his program about Drudge. It goes on and on and on. Yeah, so the Bongino Report, I do not go on the, I know it sounds like a spot. He should be paying for spots for the Bongino Report, but I don't go on the air without checking out the Bongino Report every morning. Yeah, I do. And it's very good. And Dan Bongino does a pretty good job there. And it's I'm glad, I thought it was just me with Drudge, and I'm glad other people have woken up to it. All right, so of course the story of the day. The story of the day is Kamala, whose name is Cam. They say it's Kamala. I call her Kamala. I just can't say Kamala. You say Kamala, I say tomato, whatever. Let's just all get along. This is the most flawed duo in the history of presidential elections from the mainstream party. I mean, I'm sure we can find some clowns from these third parties, but out of the two mainstream parties, these are the worst two candidates in history. In history, there is not one redeeming quality of Kamala Harris that brings it. It's all negative. Oh, but she's black. Well, how long will it be until we see her white husband interviewed? When they interview the spouses, will she keep her white husband under wraps? I think she kind of already does. Most people don't know it. And you know what? Most Democrats have no idea she's married to a white guy. That's a problem for African American liberals. Big problem. Big problem. There's a lot of other problems too. Okay? Let me play this clip. This is from the debate. She really accused Joe Biden of being some terrible things, including a racist segregationist.
There was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. We have to take it seriously. We have to act swiftly. At General of California, I was very proud to put in place a requirement that all my special agents would wear body cameras and keep those cameras on.
Mischaracterized my position across the board. I did not praise racist. That is not true. Number one. Number two, if we want to have this campaign litigated on who supports civil rights and whether I did or not, I'm happy to do that. I was a public defender. I didn't become a prosecutor. I came out and I left a good law firm to become a public defender when in fact my city was in flames because of the assassination of Dr. King. Number one. Now, number two, as the Vice President of the United States, I work with a man who, in fact, we worked very hard to see to it we dealt
Obama
in a major way. The fact is that in terms of busing, the busing, you would have been able to go to school the same exact way because it was a local decision made by your city council. That's fine. That's one of the things I argued for, that we should be breaking down these lines. But so the bottom line here is, look, everything I've done in my career, I ran because of civil rights. I continue to...
when you hear Biden with the energy here, this was the first Democrat debate. Think about how much he's declined since then. That's why I played a little bit more of this. I'm going to play her response to it. I didn't edit out that part in the middle with Biden because I wanted you to hear how far because I got a story here in a second, but I wanted you to hear, when was that debate? Was it the beginning of this year or the end of last? I think it was the beginning of this. You can see how much he's declined just this year alone. This is the first Democrat debate, the one that they said she won.
Fundamental changes in civil rights.
He can't talk like this now.
Include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
But Vice President Biden, do you...
Scary, I know.
Do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No,
do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well, there was a failure of states to integrate public schools in America. I was the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a local decision. So that's where the federal
government must step in.
Okay, so this is interesting. So why was liberal Berkeley still segregating in the 70s, I wonder, their school system? But anyway, they had to do forced busing. Biden's lost it this year. I mean, he, in that first debate where he got creamed, he sounds like his old self, doesn't he? Wow. Wow. Now he's so out of it. This is in the Daily Mail. In an image posted on Joe Biden's Instagram, Biden is seen with his laptop open, speaking to Harris via video link. Now, they have her up on his computer, right? He's holding his iPhone up to the laptop, which I don't understand because she's supposed to be on the laptop. But he's holding the phone upside down. And he's got some notes that he's reading from. Beneath the iPhone was a typed up script with the words, "Choose you," and 3 reasons spelled out. "I think you are entitled to know why," Biden's script read. The former vice president captioned the photo, "I have the great honor to announce that I've picked Kamala Harris, who called me a segregationist, a fearless fighter for the little guy, and one of the country's finest public servants as my running mate." Back when, so, and then he uses Bo, his son who passed away from cancer. He always hides behind Bo. This is a clown show. There's no doubt about it. With these two candidates that are so flawed, neither of them have any morals whatsoever. They're probably the 2 most immoral people ever to run for president and vice president in the major parties, and that's saying a lot because Bill Clinton ran a couple times there. These 2, even though it's a clown show, it is so important to talk about all these things that I've been talking about today. I know you might be a sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing kind of with them and all this stuff, but it's important because this is a time when the vice presidential nominee is more important than ever, because you heard in that clip, that was Biden at the beginning of the year. You've seen what he's become. What would he be like a year after coming into the White House? The vice president for Biden, if God help us, he became president, will be the president of the United States. And a lot of times people excuse things about vice presidents because they know they're never going to be the president. That is not true in this case. All of these things about Kamala Harris being a homewrecker, putting thousands of black men in prison for doing what she says she did, smoked weed, all these other things are relevant because she will do whatever she has to do for the just the slightest bit of personal advancement. If it means putting thousands of men in prison, she'll do it. If it means having sex with a man who's married to another woman and going to events with the wife there, she'll do it. That's a scary, scary person, Kamala Harris. And this is not funny. This is not funny time here. I know a lot of this stuff is funny on the surface, but this is serious business. All right. 2 hours are down. 1 hour to go. And we'll be back with that third and final hour right now.
5.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
It's hurricane season again. This year, forecasters predict as many as 10 hurricanes. Are you prepared if a hurricane strikes? Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware is your hurricane preparation location. You don't want to go through hurricane season without a generator. Ace carry generators for all size homes at prices to fit every budget. Once a hurricane is on television, generators are the first thing to sell out. But you will have the security of knowing you will not be without electricity if a hurricane hits. With your generator from Ace, you will have the Ace also have an incredible selection of chainsaws to cut away the fallen debris. Ace Hardware Deerfield is just south of Hillsboro on the west side of US 1. Beach Ace Hardware is located at 232 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. Ace Hardware Deerfield.
8 subs from 4,400. Somebody just asked. 8 subs away from 4,400.
Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Are you suffering from decreasing energy, poor libido, weight gain, a foggy mind, an unsatisfactory sex life, or any of the symptoms of the aging process? Good news, folks. These processes are completely reversible. With his 20 years of experience in age management medicine, Dr. Matez can offer safe, effective protocols that will
Steve
work
Kane
for
Show.
everyone. The Boca Raton Center for Age Management offers hormone replacement therapies, intravenous therapies, peptide therapies, and a host of other cutting-edge modalities that rejuvenate the human body and give you back the vigor of youth. If you want to get back to feeling good, looking good, and functioning well, call Dr. Matez at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490. Or visit their website at brc4am.com.
Other than that comment, I don't remember one of your other comments. I would put that down to a coincidence. When I'm talking on the air, I don't pay any attention to the comments because it's distracting. I hate to say this, guys. I got to do the radio show for the radio listeners. I look at the chat during the breaks and things like that, but when I'm on the air, I'm really not paying much attention to the chat. I can't. I gotta, so.
But you have to use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com.
Steve Kane Show.
Offer. Buy one MyPillow,
I got you.
get another one free. Go to mypillow.com right now. Use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
Ah, yes. All right, welcome. Third and final hour has begun. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. If you're just tuning in, breaking news, Joe Biden has nominated someone to run with him as vice president who brags about having sexual relationships with married men, Kamala Harris. And, so, all right, let's go back to the phones. PJ. Oh, hey, Steve. Steve is with us, too. I almost forgot.
Filled with Kamala Harris, or Kamala.
I call her Kamala.
Kamala, whatever.
Kamala's or how she says it. But,
name. She was bragging about her affair with Willie Grant.
Well, she calls it dating. She talks about how she did date him, and it was a rough relationship, and yeah. She talks about it. He talks about it. Yeah.
Any relationship with Kamala is a rough relationship.
Well, I had a woman call up earlier who was a little upset about this. We got this new organization, Victims of Homewreckers for Trump, and there's a. Yeah, I know. I've trademarked that phrase. There's a photograph circulating of Kamala Harris at Willie Brown's election night victory party. She's on his left. The wife is on the right. They had sex that night to celebrate the victory. I mean, what kind of woman does that?
Kamala.
Of low moral character. All right, PJ, you're on the radio.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's PJ.
Yes, that's why I said PJ. You're on the radio. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The trouble is all right. Steve's popping in and out here. Okay.
Yeah,
You're fine. Go ahead.
No, I'm not, because I can hear what PJ's talking about in my headset.
All right. Well, have Tyler disconnect you and reconnect you, Steve, while I'm talking to PJ. Okay. All right. Go ahead, PJ.
Yeah. You were talking about Dan Bongino as the alternative to the
Drudge.
But but are you aware that the one site that's getting the biggest buzz as the alternative to the Drudge Report? Are you familiar with the Citizen Free Press?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I think I might have been there. Sounds familiar.
Mark it up.
Yeah. Okay.
They had a huge story about it in the Washington Examiner by Paul Bedard, who writes Washington Secrets. And he says here, I'll just read real quick, just one sentence. It says, overnight, the site that calls itself an alternative to the once conservative Drudge Report has shot past competitors and is now poised to dominate the right-leaning media space. He also mentioned that the traffic last month was 45 million page views.
Okay, now I just went there because you gave them this, plug, citizenfreepress.com, and I got a big problem with it. Okay? The print is too small, and it's a list of stories that are links, right? Busted California female BLM leader hit with 5 glorious felonies. That's what the writing's too small. They need to make it a little bigger. And they need to jazz it up a little bit. I mean, Drudge is basic, but this is less than basic. It's hard to read, PJ. It's hard to read. These are his friends. Well, why don't we talk about what's relevant today? I know, instead of plugging your friends. Well, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, go ahead, PJ.
Yeah, but it's Hawaii tonight. I had to see what is Tulsi Gabbard's reaction going to be to Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
Named as VP. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, I have been too. She hasn't spoken out yet, and she's the one who broke that story that Kamala Harris hid evidence that would have exonerated an innocent man who was unjustly put on death row. So that's all right, PJ. Appreciate the call, but yeah, Kamala. There's not one redeeming quality with Kamala Harris, Steve. Not one that I could think of.
She's perfect for us, I'll tell you.
Well, yeah.
I was listening or watching Fox last night at the beginning of the Hannity show. They had a whole segment of opposition research all crammed into one on Kamala, and oh my God, she just her quotes and just the things that she's said in the course of business and stuff like that.
Well, that's why Trump endorsed her yesterday. That's why Trump endorsed. Listen, she's got a couple of big problems. These are the big problems, okay? She's got 3 major problems. 2 of them are with blacks. 1, she put thousands of black men in California in prison doing long stretches of time for smoking weed, which she recently laughed that she did, okay, when she was on that Charlemagne the God Breakfast Club black radio show. That's one problem she has with blacks. Another problem she has is she will not condemn Black Lives Matter or Antifa, which is, doing some crazy things right now. If we had her on the show, I would ask her to condemn this. This is the Chicago Black Lives Matter leader yesterday.
If somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that person eats. That makes sure that person has clothes. That's reparations.
Okay, so it's reparations. She won't condemn that. The third problem she has is with women, and it's already being reported that Jill Biden did not want Kamala picked, and I think it's because she's a home. Women do not like a woman who knowingly has affairs with married men, and so she's got a problem with blacks. She's got a problem with women. She is incredibly flawed.
No, the problem is that all the things she personally has said attacking Biden, a lot of what Hannity had on his list were.
Well, she called him a white. She called him a segregationist. A segregationist is what she was doing, and she's right. That clip I played in the last hour, where he says, "I wasn't against busing. I was against the government making communities do it." Well, that's the segregationist position. Local school boards should decide if the school should be integrated, not the federal government with their National Guard. He came up through the ranks with segregationist Democrats around him. She's right.
The one thing that you can say for picking Kamala, and we're seeing it here, that you saw it last night on Hannity, you're hearing it a little bit on the show this morning. Kamala is a great way of diverting attention from Biden. And if she can draw all the fire, all the time we spend putting down Kamala, it's time we're not putting down.
Well, they're doing an appearance together today in Delaware. So, she is alert. He is a zombie, and they run a risk of him looking like a feeble old checked out guy doing an appearance with her. She'll highlight his problem.
I wonder how much time they spent considering.
Yeah.
Seeing the footage last night that they showed, I'm still trying to get a look at Kamala's husband.
They hide him because he's white. They don't like people to see her white husband.
Look at the guy next to her in one of the shots, and I'm wondering...
Was he white?
Yeah, he appeared to be white and weird looking.
That's probably him. That's another problem. See, liberal blacks don't like it when someone who's successful and African American is with a white person. Black women do not like successful black people marrying outside of their ethnicity. It's a big deal. And there's not one redeeming Kamala Harris. Trump's right on the money to endorse her. She's the best pick for us, much better than these other ones.
Did you by any chance see?
Well, I've been playing all this. I did not. But I've been playing all that stuff on the air this morning. I've been playing all that stuff all morning long. Yeah, I mean she's the Joe Biden cannot even do interviews any longer because she's fearful that they'll ask her about this Willie Brown affair. Willie Brown's been talking all week about it before the announcement came. He can't stop talking about it. The news is filled with her. Well, Fox News should book Willie Brown on Tucker. Willie Brown is dying to spill his guts about Kamala. He loves talking about it. Yeah.
Speculating about whether or not to do a show on election night?
I did not. I'm sure they are. We could ask them.
I mean, Brian and I were thinking of working overnight. We did this one year before.
Back in 2010 we did this. During the Tea Party Revolution.
And we stayed on all night overnight, and it was...
What we did, it was the Tea Party Revolution, it was 2010. Instead of having an overnight rebroadcast from midnight till 6 a.m., we did the show live all night. Yeah. And then we had to do the morning show. Well, I did the morning show. You didn't. I did. I'm 10 years older than I was then. But I don't like that idea. But I would like to do it, but I don't think I could physically do it. Do 9 hours of radio?
Get you let's see, I'd be working out of the house out of the...
Oh yeah, I gotta come in.
You're working there, you'd come in, but we'd get you a guest.
Ah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. We'll think about it. I don't know. What do you guys think in the audience? There's an old clip of Biden that I found. I wanted to play. This is great. This is Biden. This is 100 years ago. The beginning of it. You could tell he's like alert, but he's talking about himself. Listen.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school, 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not
Steve
3.
Kane Show.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Okay, I mean, these are the two... A flyweight. Is this not the weakest ticket in the history of tickets? I mean, this is so. Both of them are so. There's. I mean, my goodness.
Dems are going to realize they made a big mistake, and Kamala was right earlier in the campaign when she said that she might make a better top of the ticket than.
Yeah. I think Willie Brown said she was better on top too. You know, the thing with, did you guys catch that one? I got that one out. That was quick. Had to be really listening for that one. You know, Steve, this thing though with Kamala Harris, okay? You're right. The Democrats are going to realize by this time tomorrow what a mistake they made.
Like an energy-less vessel.
He's anti-charisma, anti-energy. He's an energy sucker. Yeah.
And when they're up there together, that's exactly what's going to become evident. Is that she is the
yeah,
lively one of the two.
That's right. All right, let's go to the phone. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Yes. Hi there. I'm Louise from Boca Raton, and I want your opinion. And this is bothering me about the busing.
Yes.
Okay.
I lived on Long Island, and I remember the uproar when all this busing came into being. Thank God my son was older. But here people bought a home in a neighborhood where they like the school system.
No, okay, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, caller. Okay, because here's the, yeah. I was bused, and it was in the 70s when I was in 3rd grade. You could see the school that I was supposed to go to from the window of my bedroom, and they bused me to a school across town that was in a black neighborhood to do the busing. And I remember, Steve, it was very controversial. We had news crews meeting us at school, getting off the buses, like the first Caucasians here. So you're right, but see, you're a Trump voter, right? See, to liberals, being opposed to, like my house where I live, main reason my wife and I bought our house is because the school's in the neighborhood, okay? So what happened was parents were pissed because they got moved to a slum, their kids got sent to a slum school when they moved. But to Democrats, that position is the same as segregation to them. So, so this is bad news. When Biden was opposed to busing, this is very, very bad news. And something came out 2 weeks ago on Biden. In 1980, he supported legislation that allowed private schools to maintain racial segregation in 1980. So he's a segregationist. But that was the Democrat Party back then.
Point is, Louise, as you hear more and more of these little vignettes they put together with back-to-back Biden quotes, you realize that these aren't gaffes. That's excusing it. They're just bigoted statements. The man's
yeah.
The theme of every one of his slips is the same.
Are you a junkie? All blacks think alike. Okay, here's yeah.
Great. What a dream. An articulate, clean black
Thanks,
person.
Nick. Thank you.
Like blacks don't bathe. I mean,
in fact, it's so unusual that a black person who bathes someone should write a book about him because he bathes. He's, you know what he's like? He's like Austin Powers. Remember, Austin Powers was always inappropriate because he was frozen in time from the 60s, and everything he said was inappropriate. Come on, baby, let's shag. And he didn't think anything was wrong. That's how Biden is. He's a man from another time. I mean, he's just, man from another time. All right. Appreciate the call. What? The election.
I'm always get to be a little bit.
See, we got a break, but I think the Democrat Party is trying to lose on purpose. I'll tell you after the break what I mean. Okay? All right, well, yeah, right after this.
It's hurricane season again. This year, forecasters predict as many as 10 hurricanes. Are you prepared if a hurricane strikes? Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware is your hurricane preparation location. You don't want to go through hurricane season without a generator. Ace carry generators for all size homes at prices to fit every budget. Once a hurricane is on television, generators are the first thing to sell out. But you will have the security of knowing you will not be without electricity if a hurricane hits. With your generator from Ace, you will have the security for every hurricane season to come. Ace also have an incredible selection of chainsaws to cut away the fallen debris. Ace Hardware Deerfield is just south of Hillsboro on the west side of US 1. Beach Ace Hardware is located at 232 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, your first stop for hurricane prep. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They get great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All right, we're back. You know, Steve, another problem they have is Kamala Harris says she believes all the women who say they were inappropriately touched by Biden. She said she believes them.
All. I mean, she basically is accepting the vice presidential spot with a president on top that...
Put his hand up a woman's skirt in the hallway.
She believes the woman.
Yeah, let me play the clip. This is Kamala Harris. Now, this was right after the one woman said that she was in the hallway at the Capitol and Biden put his hand up her skirt, and she was asked about this. Here's Kamala.
I believe them, and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it.
Do you believe that the vice president should enter this race?
Oh, he's gonna have to make that decision for himself.
Yeah, but she's gonna. So that's interesting. Yeah. Oh boy. This is great. I can't wait. I can't wait.
The thing I talked about, I mean, if she draws all the fire, she's such a great target that it may get him off the hook.
Yeah, it'll be this way for a few days because everybody's got something new to talk about. But after, it'll burn out in a week. We'll be back to Biden. Don't worry.
Next week is the convention.
Yeah, it is, isn't it already? Yeah. I wonder if they're doing this appearance together or is it on a video? It's like Biden leaving the basement and going to Delaware with her. They said it's in Delaware.
Where it is, it lacks intimacy
and it's not interesting either. Lacks
sincerity, and it's going to be a mess.
I know.
It's already going to be. It is a mess. And then it looks good.
It does not. Believe me, the Democrats, they got a lot of problems with her. They got a lot of, Black Lives Matter they hate Kamala Harris because she put all those black guys in prison. And they don't like that. They do.
That she admits to doing.
Yes.
It's awful.
Well, no, it's good for us. It is good for us. Bad for them. Okay.
888 GO KANE, KANE. and the numeral 1-888 GO KANE number 1, and we will put you right on the air and get you 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
This thing like with Kamala looks like shooting fish.
Oh, I know. You know, Laura Loomer, she's got this primary where the Never Trumpers have 5 Republicans running against her in this primary. Something else has happened with Loomer this week. Let me play this clip. This is Laura Loomer. Listen to this.
Hey guys, Laura Loomer here. I'm on my way, driving right now. Someone else is driving, but I had to get this emergency update out about my campaign. In an incredible turn of events, Comcast Xfinity just banned my campaign from sending out fundraising emails and text messages. Comcast here in Palm Beach County is one of the only internet service providers, and sometimes the only one that you have available. And as the Republican frontrunner in my congressional race, I have now been banned. We are getting messages from Comcast saying that my messages are being undelivered because it's dangerous content.
Okay, so Comcast, which is, by the way, that's MSNBC, they're the local internet cell phone provider in the district where she's running in Palm Beach, and they have blocked her campaign from sending out fundraising text messages and emails. I've never seen election interference like this. I've never seen anything like it. This is unheard of. And since she's banned from social media, she can't fundraise that way. There's been so much interference in this race. I just pray that she wins. They hate her so much.
Really scared to them. And I don't know too much about the internet, but the more I hear about what's going on, and I start to get a picture of how they manipulate the internet, it's absolutely frightening.
I know.
We assume that if we get a favorable result on election day, that if we get a majority in any of the houses, and of course, assuming Trump is elected, which I think is a safe assumption, they got to do something about that.
Oh yeah.
Really affect election.
You know, I was up really early. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was watching CNN early this morning, and they are so upset. I could hear it in their voice about this possible COVID vaccine out of Russia, and they did an entire segment. Putin, I don't know to believe Putin or not, but they did this entire
I wouldn't believe Putin because Putin didn't take the vaccine.
His kids did. He gave it to his kids.
Well, I don't trust that. You don't think he'd write off a kid to?
I don't know. Well, whatever. You know, they. So let me tell you. So. Well, so they did. Well, let me tell you what they did on CNN. So they did this whole segment. You know, he's calling it Sputnik, right? You know, and they did this whole segment downing the vaccine that Putin says he has, which I understand. I don't trust anything Putin says either. And then they go to Trump talking about we may have a vaccine by election day, and they were downing that too. Yeah, and you know, they don't want a vaccine. Not until after the election, at least, on CNN, and they can't even hide it. I mean, if there's the Trump derangement syndrome is so severe at CNN, they can't even pretend to be excited that there's a vaccine on the way in America.
They're trying to throw the whole damn country into a recession.
Yeah.
Economic collapse. I mean, after you realize they'll do that, nothing surprises you.
Yeah. Well, if we only talked about what surprised us, we would only have the gold report, because these great numbers from the gold report. But, you know, just because not much surprises us. But, you know, at CNN, they should at least pretend to be excited that America will have a vaccine by election day. But they're like, this is not proven, and you know, the president shouldn't be saying this and giving people hope, and you never, you know, I mean, they can't. You would think that they would at least pretend to be excited. And keep their prayers that it's not there private. All right. Oh my goodness, it's already 8:30. It's already 8:30.
I gotta get a hold of Tyler to see if any of the static that's coming through my headset is going on the air.
It's not going on the air. I don't hear any static. No static.
Okay. There must be a loose wire in my headset or something, because I'm getting this intermittent cutout.
I don't know.
Let's take our break. We will call the technical advisor to the Steve Kane Show, Tyler Kane, and let an expert take a look at it. We'll be back after this.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
If you suffer from excruciating back pain or sciatica, pay careful attention to what I'm about to tell you. According to a study in the medical journal Spine, back surgeries to alleviate back pain frequently backfire, leaving the patient in more pain than before they had the surgery. A second study from the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine provides clear evidence that 74% of surgeries for back pain fail. But there is an end to your suffering. There's a solution to your problem waiting for you with Dr. Troy Lemaski. Dr. Troy Lemaski is my personal chiropractor, and if the name sounds familiar, it should. He's the brother of Dr. Janae Lemaski. Dr. Troy specializes in the elimination of back pain, sciatica, joint pain. He does it quickly, easily, and without surgery or pain medication. While he can help you with your back and neck pain, Dr. Troy also provides treatment for the hips, the shoulders, the knees. If you've been in a car accident, any type of injury, or slip and fall, the pain won't go away, well, you want to get back to your old self, you want to call Dr. Troy. His number 954-463-3036. That's 954-463-3036. Online at drtroylemaski.com. Tell him that Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, we are back. You got everything worked out, Steve? Okay, you sound fine to me. You sound fine. Well, you're hearing me. You're hearing me. All right. Well, it's time to check in with Richard Pearl from Simply Natural. Hey, Richard Pearl.
Richard, how are you today?
I'm excellent. Instead of good today, I'm excellent. And
all right.
A couple things. First, today, we're going to have the radio show, so I have a lot of things I'm going to cover at 11 a.m. on Pearls to Health on the same stations that everyone listens to hear your great voices. And we're going to talk about a lot of things that people don't really understand. One of the things we're going to talk about is the fact that the World Health Organization actually, as of June of this year, said there's no evidence that face masks have a direct impact on protecting people against respiratory illnesses, even though in July they later came out that you should essentially wear them anyway. And now you got Fauci wanting you to wear goggles. But fortunately, I think we're at the end of the hysteria. The Trump administration hired Dr. Scott Atlas, who's been on television a few times, and it's been more on the side of reason, and hasn't been hyperventilating about nonsense. And he actually says some things not that distant from what I say. And at one point I was thinking about getting him on the air. I don't think I could do that now, but I wanted to bring him on the air because he's one of the few doctors on television that made some sense. I think we've gotten to the point where the truth is so obvious that people are starting to back off this hysterical moments of this hyperventilating class of people on television whose agenda is to destroy the country or to create fear or to foment some kind of social change, whatever it is. It's important that you guys listen to the show today because we're really going to get into some things that, I don't have time to go into today, but it's going to be really powerful. And if you want to reach us at Simply Natural, we're open 7 days, 11 to 9 p.m. You can call us at 741-4045. Last thing I say, you can be safe and you can be well and you can live your life with joy. And that's it.
And don't forget to catch the Pearls of Health today at 11 a.m. on all of our radio stations, including listening on iHeartRadio. Search for our station, call letters WWNN on iHeartRadio. All right, Richard Pearl, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. Oh man, I tell you, it's this is going to be great. I cannot wait for this announcement, to be officially done today in Delaware, because then it's going to be. The guy from Stanford.
To counteract Fauci, there's no.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, there must be all kinds of trauma going on, because Fauci probably. It was very obvious. Second I heard him, if I wasn't partial towards Trump, I'd say that this guy is a Trump crony. It's like whereas Fauci was always attacking. Say this guy promotes all of Trump's theories, and not too subtly either.
Well, Fauci doesn't want this to end. He's out there trashing the vaccine already. I've seen him on TV multiple times. Well, we don't know. Will it be 65% effective? We don't know. That's not what you're supposed to bring confidence to the table, not doubt. He doesn't want this to end because this is the highlight of his life and career. And he doesn't want it over.
The jumping off to new heights in his career. That's what he's.
Well, he's still a little guy. A little Napoleon here. The thing with Fauci is, when I first caught on to his ego, he was at one of the White House press conferences, and he was talking about he and his wife were out for dinner in D.C., not sheltering in place, and he noticed how people were social distancing. And he considers himself to be the father of social distancing, and he has changed our culture, and he knows it, and he loves himself for it, and his ego's gotten in the way of him, I think, being able to be a professional medical scientist. He just his ego's too much involved. He hates this new guy.
As you see, all these people, whether they're overly invested ego-wise or whether they're not, and in many cases it makes the difference between whether they're successful or not. Tucker's a great example. Tucker, with all his talent, and I consider him among the top in the business, there's something very unassuming about him. Even when he makes jokes and stuff like that, he's into self-deprecation.
Yeah.
Not offensive. The other guys just ooze it.
Yeah. No, they do. And, this thing with this new doctor tells you there's going to be a whole new direction. And, they're also, you're seeing,
Trump made a remark about, introducing Atlas. I think he's related. You know who Charles Atlas is?
I do not. No, I don't. I have no idea.
Those ads, no, this is way before your time. I'm going to get a no on this one, but I'll ask the question anyway. It's a print ad that used to go out there of a guy running on the beach, and he's built really strong and like a bully.
Yeah, Dudley Moore in 10.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, I know Dudley Moore.
Well, that's Charles Atlas was the father of that ad campaign.
Oh.
That specialist.
Oh, I never. Oh, yeah. I've heard of. It sounds familiar, like Mr. Atlas. Yeah.
He said Trump said something about him that his father was famous, and that's what.
Oh.
Because it struck me that my mind goes back that far, especially when I'm awake. But
I'm telling you, Trump's going to fire Fauci right after the election. Right after he wins the election, he's going to fire Fauci. He can't do it before the election. If he does it before the election, he'll be camped out trashing him every day on CNN. He can control him a little bit now, even though he's still doing these rogue interviews.
No, I think it's more now since they hired Atlas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know, it's obvious. You know, I was just looking outside, some really bad weather. I saw there's a tropical depression coming towards Florida. Yeah, tropical depression. Well, you know, yeah, and, you know, listen. Well, it's far out there, so it's not a named storm yet. There's another tropical depression. But I'm looking right now. I heard some thunder a minute ago. Listen, there's two things that you need to do in this audience, okay, to prepare. Because I've been telling you for weeks, this is going to be it's been a bad year. And we're going to have a record number of named storms in Florida this year. It is hurricane season. There's two things you need to do. One, call Debbie at I Will Advisors. Have her review your homeowner's policy. This goes for not just homeowners, condo owners, but also business owners. You have property insurance. And have her review your hurricane coverage and make sure you have the hurricane coverage that you need. Make sure everything you want covered is covered. That's 954-753-8080, Debbie and I Will Advisors. And Steve and I, we went to Ace Hardware yesterday, and the Deerfield location, which is about a mile from our studio, and they do still have some generators in stock, but generators in hurricane season, they sell quick, and they get very hard to get once those storms get close. And I have a generator, and I have it every hurricane season, and it's always there. And knowing that I can power my air conditioning, my television, my internet, my refrigerator, my stove, even my washer and dryer, I will go without nothing if we lose power. Yeah. Oh, it's huge. Yeah. Yeah, and I was looking at the generators over at Ace Hardware Deerfield yesterday, and they have generators for every size home. You can even get a generator for your business, right? If you have a business, you need to, you could lose electricity. Ace Hardware Deerfield, Beach Ace Hardware, Lauderdale by the Sea. There are lots of Ace Hardwares. Those are the only two advertising on the Steve Kane Show, so you want to use those two. And let me tell you, you get a generator, you have it every year, and it gives you lots and lots of security. I mentioned earlier, see, I think the Democrat establishment is trying to lose this election on purpose, okay? And they're in a similar situation. There's all these never-Trumper Republicans, William Kristol and all these creeps that would like us to lose the presidency, and they would rather, the Democrats want to cleanse themselves of these radicals that are controlling their party. Steve, and I think that Pelosi and Schumer, their seats are secure. I think that they want to lose not just this presidential election, but they want to lose some of these congressional seats too. Their party is becoming unelectable on a national ticket. They've been taken over by these radical. Yeah.
Do you think Democrats are that much in?
Yes, the establishment leaders are. Bill Barr said something to Levin the other night on that interview. He said a lot of these Democrats in Congress, he was talking about the hearing, they're radicals and they believe in collapsing the system. But he said a lot of them are afraid. A lot of them fear these groups and these radicals. And that's the Democrat establishment. Remember, he was talking to Levin about that.
Do you think before it's all over, you think there'll be an open split in the Democratic Party? Be able to keep everything under control?
They had a split.
Mention, just to bear in mind, Biden has not got the nomination.
Well, they just they made a big change. They're putting AOC up. AOC didn't have a speaking spot a couple days ago. Now they gave her a primetime one. They want this squad and they want these radicals out of their party. They're destroying their party. And I truly, to lose, giving them exposure now causes them to lose. Pelosi and Schumer want to lose this election, not their seats. Okay, but their seats are secure. They want to cleanse the party of these radicals, and they're not doing any favors giving Kamala Harris the nomination. That's not a favor. She's a lose. It's a
Kamala.
No. There's a cleansing going on, and I was talking about this a few weeks ago. They want to lose. Steve, I told you this. I think I told you this the other day. Politico, which is left wing, had a story about a week or so ago The Trump campaign is knocking on 1 million doors a week campaigning out on the streets of America and in battleground states. The Democrats haven't knocked on one door. They're not even campaigning. There's no Democrat campaign going on in this country. None. And Trump has a ground game nationwide, including the battleground states. If they thought they would win, they would be doing something. Look at Trump yesterday, had this ad out 10 seconds after Kamala was named. And he had this ad out calling her a phony.
They didn't mention any other name.
No, but they had it out online. They had it out online, and it instantly got like 3 million views. Okay, I mean, so this is, and they're not run.
For Kamala, that's for sure.
But the Democrats are running to lose. I'm telling you, they don't plan on losing. They know they're going to lose. They don't want to win. They can't let these radicals continue to run their party.
To me, we speculate pro, con, as to what the truth is deep down. But the most startling evidence to me is the stock market.
Hey.
No one is going to, I had this discussion with my sister in California yesterday. Nobody can look at the stock market today and not understand that the powers that be know that Trump is going to win this election. Because if you let me ask you, I mean, if you had a portfolio full of stock and you knew for a fact that Trump was going to lose.
Oh yeah, you sell it off. It's Biden, collapse with Biden.
And, she thinks that the market's going to do better if.
Yeah. Well, I know this. My cell phone was ringing yesterday from multiple people that I've not heard from in ages, and they said, Brian, I couldn't believe I was getting these calls yesterday on my cell phone from people. Can you give me the number for William Youngerman? People are getting involved in gold that have never dreamed of gold before. We have William Youngerman on the line, Steve.
William, what's it looking like this morning?
Steve, it's been an amazing couple of days for the precious metals. Yesterday, we saw gold drop $117.90, as only gold can do after running up so many hundreds of dollars in the short term this year that we've seen it, making all new record highs, getting up to about $1,075. We've been waiting for this pullback, and it finally came yesterday and last night. But we are building back up on that number this morning, so we'll see where the day plays out. Very important day for the precious metals, but in the meantime, we had a big pullback yesterday, $117.90 down on gold. It got as low as $1,875, and then it closed yesterday at $1,910. Silver, after reaching just under $30, it got to $29.90. Also took a massive hit, got down $4.38, closing out the day at $24.76. Platinum was down $67 at $915, holding that $900 support number. And palladium was down $142 at $1,956. Overnight, the metals tested even lower as gold got down to about $1,870. Before recovering very quickly. Right now, gold up $25 on the day at $1,935. So as I've said about some of these corrections, if you blink, you'll miss it. But we did see a lot of people taking advantage of that dip yesterday. Silver back up 53 cents right now at $25.40. Platinum up $5 at $920, and palladium up $35 at $1,991. So as I said, gold right now about $1,935, up $25. The CPI index came out. That's the consumer price index came out.
If you're not subscribed, subscribe. All right.
It was twice as high as they expected. So that's very bullish concerning inflation going forward. And that being said, we should see gold as the haven for protecting against a dollar that is declining in value. It's at a multi-month low, and again, it's the best financial insurance you can have. It's gold and silver. And even especially on a pullback days like we've got now.
Today is the day. This is not going to hang around long, I'm guessing. Am I guessing right?
I would guess you're probably right. I think this correction will be very quick and probably be over with very quickly. You can never actually take some of these bottoms when you get the emotions involved in investments like this, but you can certainly take advantage of the dips, as we've said to our people for years.
Well, you know what that means, folks. You've been listening for a long time. William Youngerman, of course, he's been doing this for a long time, 50 years advising clients on trends and movements in the precious metals market. I went over yesterday after the show and I purchased some silver. Been on a silver buying jag lately. Today, definitely the day to move. Stop by William Youngerman, 150 East Palmetto Road in Boca Raton. That's the Bank of America building. You'll find William on the first floor, directly across from the bank. You can reach him by phone. William, give me your phone number.
1-800-327-5010. 800-327-5010.
And don't forget that museum quality website. Be sure to visit it at williamyoungerman.com. William, have a great and busy day, and we will check in and see how things go tomorrow, all right?
Okay, thanks, Bruce.
Oh man, there's a story on Fox I just saw on their website about Kamala, and she had tweeted, listen to this, this is a tweet, if you're able to, chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post a bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. This is after the George Floyd death. Well, yeah, and they posted, well, the organization posted bail for people that were arrested for murder, Steve. And that's Kamala Harris is backing that organization that is bonding out murderers. Oh, that's a great candidate. Trump was so smart to endorse her yesterday. Chris, you're on the radio.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning, Christopher.
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Everything you talk about, you can go 3 hours on. My goodness, you do a great job squeezing in enough information just to kind of lead us in the right direction. But, my favorite part really is how they're going to defend her. I mean, all those, talk about hypocrisy, right? They're going to defend just about every...
Well, Chris, you know the answer to that. They're doing what they're doing is they're making it a crime of political incorrectness to attack her. Of course, she's, after all, a woman, and she is black, although she didn't look very black to me, but what do I know?
Hey, Chris, how do you think Jill Biden, Dr. Biden, the wife, Biden's wife, how do you think Biden's wife feels about her husband striking up a partnership that they plan on lasting 8 years, working side by side with a woman that likes to have sex with married men?
Well, especially the president of the United States.
Well, I'm sure
that would be a great notch on her belt.
Oh, absolutely.
Although I think Joe is maybe beyond that.
I don't know, Dr. Matez. So, what do you think Joe Biden's happy about that, Chris? This homewrecker working with her husband?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
To show you that two-sided thing there, because I mean, like you brought up earlier, look about this whole Stormy Daniels thing, and what a big deal they made over that. And here you have something proven, admitted by both. And this is the type of person, it's like sexual harassment. There's supposed to be some power there, right? So, in this case, she was able to get favor from Willie Brown to leapfrog her career, because that's, they're so cutthroat, they'll do anything for a position.
Chris, since you're one of our conservative black listeners, do you think that the black community is going to have trouble? Black Democrats are going to have a problem with the fact that Kamala married a white guy?
Well, not if they keep hiding it. Have you even seen him? I don't even know how he looks.
Yeah, I know.
Saw somebody that looked like it might have been him last night, kind of in the background on the Hannity show.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that was him or not. Weird looking too.
That sounds like him.
Well, you just mentioned it. Her lifestyle hasn't been very black, so whatever that.
She's African Canadian. She grew up in Canada. She's African Canadian.
But
what the heck?
I love it.
Diversity.
See, you know what? Sarah Palin was an absolute hero, and now you see how they twist it. They brought out I don't know. They were beside themselves. They just thought that Sarah Palin might have been sleeping with one of her daughter's boyfriends.
Really? That's a new one. Wow.
They would tweet anything to bring up that, but she was an absolute hero. She wasn't an icon.
Well, see, Sarah Palin became governor of our largest state without any political connections, wealth, and she didn't sleep her way in. Hillary only was senator because she was married to the former president, and Kamala, Willie Brown. So,
Well, still there then.
Well, I don't know. She's a great example. Her and Todd divorced, this year.
I get it, because she was still a powerful voice.
Yeah. But they hated her because she was a truly accomplished woman who did it on her own, not by sleeping her way into it or anything like that. They hated her for it.
Really was. She really was. God, she had an R next to her name. That was shameful for women.
That's correct.
To do that.
Some things never change.
I'm telling you, Chris, Willie Brown he loves to talk about his affair with Kamala Harris. He talks about it all the time. He's dying to talk about it. Tucker Carlson should call him up and have him on. Oh, Willie Brown loves talking about it.
In fact, something last night on Tucker's show, Tucker brought it up. The fact that she had an affair with Willie Brown.
Yeah.
Anyone was going to do that.
That's great. He's trolling for the interview with Willie Brown. Willie Brown's the hottest interview right now to get because he see, when he starts talking about it, he starts recollecting, and those were the good old days,
To see that interview?
Willie Brown would, yeah, I do. Yeah, he's already been quoted in the news. Hey, listen, we're out of time, Chris. Thanks for the call. We're out of time, Steve. Do you want to sign off?
Just started.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Gets better each day, no question of that. We've got a lot of fun in front of us. We're talking about the idea of maybe doing overnight on election night. Wanted to bounce that off you, see how you feel. Would you stay up all night? Because, I don't know, it's either going to be very quick or going to take a long time, like in 2000. But anyway, we've got a lot of fun in front of us. In the meantime, on behalf of my chief engineer, Tyler Kane, my partner, Brian Craig, I'm yours truly, Steve Kane. Until tomorrow, God bless America.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in
Hey guys.
Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's
I'm
a
8 away
savings per
from
tire.
4,400.
Tires
So
for
if you are
$1
not
car,
subscribed,
$125 at shops around town.
I'm 8
Price of
subs
Friendly
away
Tire,
from
only
4,400.
$65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire.
Well, thank
Tell him
you,
what
thank you.
drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Feeling old, tired, run down? Struggling with your sex life or weight control? Dr. Matez can fix it. Call the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490 or visit their website at brc4am.com.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
That's it. All signed off. Oh. Oh. Sorry, guys. Bless me. Oh, yeah. I know. I was so excited and I was talking so much, I only drank half of my coffee. I usually have this done by now. All right, guys, listen. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, all right? I'll see you all later, all right? Thanks for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it.